lineup of Rocket League matches for you tonight, but before we get into those matches in our pregame show, we're going to go over some of the latest esports headlines from Boise State Esports. Boise State University's esports team, the Broncos, emerged triumphant at the Rally Cry Rocket League Collegiate Series qualifier presented by the Army National Guard. They had victories against Cal Berkeley, Universidad Carolina, and a convincing win against UT Dallas. As part of the larger series, the team's success positions them as contenders for the championship's $6,000 prize pool. Their journey, marked by skill and teamwork, began with individual closed qualifiers from February 10th to March 3rd, and then they'll be competing in the playoffs March 9th and 10th. Boise State's pursuit of victory underscores their determination to leave a lasting impact at the collegiate esports landscape. If you want to support them, should they make it to the grand finals, those grand finals will happen March 16th. And Boise State University's Valorant squad is set to kick off their Mountain West Conference matches, a series of high-stakes matches as well, all open to the public and streamed live on twitchtv.boise state. From February 21st to April 13th, 2024, the team will face off against tough opponents like UNLV, Air Force, and Utah State every Wednesday night from 8 to 9:30 p.m. With their strategic prowess and competitive spirit, Boise State aims to make their mark in the collegiate standings, culminating with playoffs happening in April. Fans and supporters won't want to miss a single moment of this action-packed season. And remember, that begins the 21st of February, 8 to 9:30 p.m. We hope to see you then, and we hope to see you in a few minutes for the Rocket League matches here tonight. We'll be back in a few minutes to start off the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Mizzou, who will take home the first win in this best of 5. Will Boise State sweep this with a complete 3-0? We're ready.
Left here on the kickoff.
Dirtho moves off to the side to contest with Frostbite. Now they have an open goal. Dirtho sees it, puts it in, and we're up to 4-0.
Just elevated, gets a touch of the wheels, leaving for Dirtho, but Dirtho has boost, and is going to find Woodsy on the other side. A redirect, going to find it past Grins, and wow, just like that, they're going to be right back in striking distance.
Exodia tries to bounce up, but Woozy wins that crucial 50 to put one on the goal. Bronk take the play forward. Demo onto Crims again. Gil coming in, trying to dunk it down with Dirtho. Can he get it? He scores!
That's exactly what you love to see there. And there's that flashy mechanical ability in combination with team play and cohesiveness. That Demo, pre-planned, absolutely nasty. Exodia is able to get a 50. Dirtho was looking for the assist, wasn't going to find it. Now Woozy puts a shot on a net off the backboard. Wow! Added to the highlight reel. Tie it up for the Broncos.
I think that was just a little bit too steep of an angle of attack for Exodia. He makes contact with it, but then Woozy just goes flying in for the
pre-jumped, but not going to find it, however. And now Dirtho on a solo play path, fakes.
Oh my!
Wow, the pogo stick shot.
Dirtho is insane in midair. Some of the stuff that he can do just completely takes matters into his own hands.
be so high on life. Without you, I don't feel alive. So I'll just keep on being higher than the sky. Tell me, are you there for me even when I try? Keep on being high. Without you, keep on being high. Without you, keep on being high. I know that you're feeling forsaken, mistaken, wish you were another man. I remember feeling awakened, mistaken, if you thought I'm in that place where you want me to be. But I don't want to want you back. So it's easy to see when I'm high all the time. 'Cause I have lost you, get the thinking why. We used to be so high on life. Without you, I don't feel alive. So I just keep on being higher than the sky. Tell me, are you there for me even when I try? Keep on being high. Without you, keep on being high. Without you, keep on being high. I know that you're feeling forsaken, mistaken, wish you were another man. I remember feeling awakened, mistaken, if you thought I'm in that place where you want me to be. But I don't want to want you back. So it's easy to see when I'm high all the time. 'Cause I have lost you, get the thinking why. We used to be so high on life. Without you, I don't feel alive. So I just keep on being higher than the sky. Tell me, are you there for me even when I try? Keep on being high. Without you, keep on being high. Without you, keep on being high. Lying in the darkness, wondering if you're heartless. 'Cause you don't let me see the lights. That you don't really want me, you just wanna call me. But only on the lonely nights. You give me just enough that I don't care for. You give me just enough to keep me begging for your love. Locked away, you save me for a rainy day. Locked away, till you need me, I'll stay. Locked away, and you don't care, it hurts to wait. Locked away, locked away.
Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight we have got 3 exciting Rocket League matches for you. We're going to start out in Rally Cry, the Rally Cry tournament. Boise State is going to be going up against UC Berkeley, or Cal as they are known. And then we will head on over to NACE Star League for some exciting matches against USF and Michigan State. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I am joined by Artemis Ray, and we're here to call all of the Rocket League action for you tonight. So first match, Artie, UC Berkeley or Cal. What do we know about this team?
Well, across the board, you see in any title you look at, they're a very strong school. So obviously, Boise State, as far as we're concerned when it comes to Rocket League, is also a very prominent face and figure when it comes to our skill. However, whenever you have a Titan taking on someone else, they definitely want to knock them down early. So you can't softball. You can't rely on a safety net. You need to come out swinging, come out fast, and come out hard. And regardless of how many matches they're supposed to be, you need to treat every game like it is the last. I hate to apply the pressure, but it's part of my job. So hopefully Boise State comes out swinging immediately and doesn't throw any softballs.
We'll hope that they do. Just hope that they sweep this one cleanly. We're just going to have to see. Of course, Artie just gave their 2 cents on how the Broncos can win, but we have another person who always gives his 2 cents about how the Broncos can win, and that is our own Doc Haskell for Boise State Esports. And Doc's keys to the game, that's going to be to set your play style, understand rotations, play to follow up, and of course employ those sweaty comms. It's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. So both teams are ready and loaded to head on into the match, and Boise State, definitely a team that has had a lot of success. It's just one semester left in the spring until they possibly go to CRL Worlds again, and this is just another tournament in which they could make their mark.
Well, let's see. Can Boise State pull through in Rally Cries? It's been a while since I've been able to be here with them and witness the power that they bring forth. Have they gotten rusty? Have they gotten lazy? I hope not. We're only into February of the semester, but this is where that first semester lull, the slump starts to hit as we jump in a little bit into Game 1. Boise State is first to put a score on the board, plays it off the back wall was Cal Berkeley looking for an opportunity for a back touch, and they find it successfully.
It's just some great team calling out. They've already got one of the Broncos committed on the save. Another one just can't quite get into the right position. So good goal and assist. It's going to be Bacon and Pangolin over there for Cal Berkeley.
Off the wall, down into the corner, once again in the defensive third for Boise State. We have it popped up into the air, dunked down off the ceiling. Manages to play it around one, collision, pinch the ball towards the ceiling once again. Still in the defensive third now for Cal Berkeley. Question is, are they going to be able to play it into the corner and off the wall in order to get it up to that midfield stripe as we have it pinched once again off the wall. Midfield stripe, a intentional fake to try and get some of the defenders to commit. Looks like it almost works, but Durtho will come in and make the save, sending the ball into the defensive third once again for Cal Berkeley.
Cal Berkeley unable to find the clear. Woozy tries to put a shot on the goal. It's going to be deflected off to the left. Now back across the midfield bar. Cal Berkeley trying to find their clear. Preston will deny it for them. Now a good midfield contest. Durtho goes for the dribble, trying to set it up. Look at those double demos being brought out by Preston to try to clear off the goal. The lone remaining player from Cal Berkeley is able to stop it.
Another fake on contact. We have a couple of cars piling up near midfield. Pangolin manages to get a shot to the back wall. The follow-up touch from Woozy, though. Pangolin was trying to give it to a teammate for a clear, but Woozy was in the way, finding another goal for the Broncos.
Nice recognition of the awkward positioning that Cal Berkeley found themselves in. Both of them were kind of, defenders were just kind of mid-turn throughout repositioning, so Boise State just put a quick one over them. Puts themselves up in the lead, a little over 2 minutes left.
Preston in the corner, drops the ball down. It's pinched outside the midfield stripe as Doc Swag gets demoed in front of the Broncos goal. We find a clear, goes all the way into the goal box, but Doc Swag was waiting, plays it off the wall, give and go to a teammate. Preston trying to figure out where this ball's going to go, get in front. Never mind, it's going to be Durtho instead to pop in front, flick it up over one, but can't get it past the second. There's a follow-up touch and a demo on the keeper. That's another goal for Boise State.
It's been this type of key team coordination where the Broncos have really shown through. Actually, that he even just kind of got the goal himself. Cal Berkeley was pushed up just a bit too far there on that goal. Got played over pretty easily.
Off kickoff, it goes in favor of Berkeley. However, it's swiftly stolen back. in the air. We have it go underneath one defender. One commits to the backboard defense. Pinched once again. Bacon looking for an opportunity to cut in and try to take this ball possession away. It's still dwindling here near midfield stripe. No one quite in control just yet. Doc Swag tries to steal it away. Can't make contact. 2-on-1 in the corner. It's going to be Pangolin to lose out possession. Elevation comes out from one of the Broncos. Man, just to find a flip reset. Ooh, that was beautiful, but unfortunately too flashy, and Doc Swag read right through it.
Off into the corner, Durtho goes to get a lot of ground off this. He's fresh on boost too. He's going to play it off the wall, set it up, but it gets taken away before a follow-up shot can be made. Still, the Broncos up 2 in this game. More elevation to get a touch and maybe pass it to another Bronco. They'll leave it for Durtho to go around the corner. Bacon now looking onwards. Woozy trying to find out who he wants to pass it to. This is going to be set up off the backboard. Preston will read it and defuse the situation.
Attempt to flick into the corner is successful, but Doc Swag will come and collide with Durtho. Ball's going to dwindle near midfield stripe. Pangolin comes forward, pops up on their hood. We have a demo onto Doc Swag as well. Pangolin tries to force it towards the net, but can't quite get the angle nor momentum necessary. Doc Swag off the respawn sends it into the opposite corner. Still in the defensive third of Boise State. Finally, it's taken across midfield stripe. We have one elevate attempt to steal it. Gets a nose on it, but it's not enough. Durtho with the give and go from Woozy. That's goal number 4 for Boise State.
Opening up quite a bit of a safety net now for game 1. Nice pass between the two players, dead center of the goal, and not really any time to bring this back. Got about half of a minute left. Next kickoff off to the side. Broncos get played over. Doc Swag trying to spike it down into the ground. Play off a teammate. There isn't the third, though, to keep the play going. And now 15 seconds have bled away, half the time that they had in this last kickoff. And this looks to be a for sure Bronco victory, putting them in a good spot in this match, up 1.
Pangolin's looking just for the one extra goal scoring opportunity. I don't think we'll be able to see one more. Perhaps, though, I might have just cast a curse as this ball is dwindling back towards that Cal Berkeley net. Preston looking for a 5th. It's not going to happen. That's no time left on the clock. Broncos win 1-4 in game 1 against Cal Berkeley.
And they have a pretty good lead in just almost all of the stats. Ball control is about split between them, but in shots on goal, one of the most important, they just really are able to open up a huge lead over Cal Berkeley. Also notice where they took a lot of shots on goal. It's just right in the defensive area, in the defensive third. So they were really able to push up and really just get an extreme amount of goals against Cal Berkeley.
I mean, your odds of actually finding the back of the net are drastically increased. You could see where most of the shots were coming from for Cal Berkeley, and that was either mid-zone or very much so right at the top of that defensive third, whereas the Broncos were inching further inside of it. And so the further you get past those defenders, the closer you are to the goal. If it's easy, those are the easier shots to make. Granted, yes, they are kind of like the bread and butter, so to speak, of Rocket League. But if it's the classic shots you're going to make, why not go for them? Those midfield shots, way too easy to read. You have to mix things up. And even if it means returning to off the backboard, make sure there's no backboard defense or fake someone out, and then go for the shot, go for it.
Well, one game is in the books. We'll see if they can add to their lead in game number 2. Boise State going up against Cal Berkeley. And the Broncos already up to a 1-goal lead. Remember, we were mentioning in the news before this tournament, has a prize pool of $6,000 up for grabs. Ooh. And finals coming up in March. So if the Broncos continue on this winning streak, could be a good day indeed for them. Pangolin tries to take possession right off the kickoff. Durtho takes it away from him and is going to slick it off to the side, leave it for Preston. Now Preston wondering who he can set it up to, who he can pass. Woozy unable to take the shot on goal.
Doc Swag trying to come in and play disruption is successful, gets it around 1, but Durtho comes in last second, makes the initial save. It's a give and go back to Durtho in the corner. Play is slightly abandoned by the Bronco defense. So we have Woozy on top of the ball. Doc Swag capitalizes on it and shoots it into the back of the net. That's goal 1 for Cal Berkeley. You can see what ends up happening here. I think there was just a miscalculation on Woozy's part, trying to possibly go for the flick play, but couldn't quite get the angle right and ended up on top of the ball and unable to position right.
4 minutes, 34 seconds left. Broncos up by 1. Bacon looking to chase after the ball, get a bit of side control after that kickoff. Preston now with pass upfield. Durtho waiting in the wings, redirects it toward the goal off the backboard. Woozy a spike down and a double commit on the save from Cal Berkeley. Broncos won't find their second goal, but they are sure pressuring Berkeley as much as they can. Tries a bit of a sneaky move. Possible pinch off the ground, wasn't able to find a shot on goal, but this one is sure going to be another one. Durtho doesn't manage to find it, but the stats are starting to pile up for the Broncos and how much they're putting onto Berkeley's goal again off the crossbar.
I mean, they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but right now the Broncos are whiffing on every shot they've taken thus far. So let's see if they can rectify that as Preston goes for a shot on goal. Durtho does as well. Woozy with the follow-up. The tertiary touch doesn't even work out. Pangolin goes for the breakaway play, is faked out. Preston manages to steal it. Plus the corner boost. Tries to get past Bacon. Is successful. It has both Woozy and Durtho waiting in the wings for an opportunity to help out. Woozy's going to be the one to bring it into the defensive third of Cal Berkeley. It's popped up near the ceiling as we hit midfield stripe. Preston slows the momentum of the ball. Durtho now chasing after. We see Woozy rotating back into that defensive third positioning. Durtho, can you make it past? You will not make it past Doc Swag, but Preston comes in. It's a give and go to Durtho.
There you
and
go.
the follow-up from Woozy. That's our equalizer with 3 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock.
That was just about as perfectly as you could have aimed it. It just slid past the right post with a few pixels to spare. Now the Broncos are back in this game. 3 minutes, 14 seconds left.
They had to full commit to that goal-scoring opportunity, and there was one Cal Berkeley player in a cherry-picking position, to say the least. So we got to be careful of those situations. Is off kickoff. Bacon goes for the shot. Preston makes a save, and we're turning it into an offensive opportunity now for Boise State. Fortunately, that top crossbar, that fourth man cross, he came in strong. Woozy now trying to set it up once again. Elevates, loses it to Doc Swag, who bodied Preston off the ball. Now it's Bacon's opportunity to set something up for their team. Will they be able to? No. Preston comes in, takes that away for just a moment. Pangolin looking to set it back up, takes too many touches, so Durtho steals it away. It's a 2-on-1 in the air, and Bacon capitalizes on the free ball for a moment. Manages to get possession. Gonna pop it, try to pop it up over one, but get demoed instead.
Shot on goal from Cal Berkeley. Saved by Durtho. Along the wall, trying to find any sort of clear. That's a nice block by Bacon, leaving it for Pangolin, but Preston is able to save. Once again, back toward midfield. Play by Preston, pass to Durtho, unable to put that accurate of a shot onto goal, but maybe Woozy can pick up the pieces. He sure can! And the Broncos are into the lead. This just shows the Broncos' amazing ability to just keep following up. Even when you think the play is over, one of their players still finds a way to put a shot into goal that the other team, in this case the Bears, aren't able to predict.
Well, we've got Pangolin attempting to set something up, but the follow-up was a little too slow. Doc Swag will prevent the ball from going to midfield, and just as I say that, a caster occurs. Woozy gets demoed, shot on goal, not even accredited by the system, but look at those accolades for the Broncos. Do they really need another shot on goal credit? It's just going to make the percentage go down for the ones that go in, as Woozy, once again, another shot on goal that doesn't find the back of the net. Ball in the corner, defensive third for the Bears. Will they be able to dig this one out? Actually, it's defensive third for the Broncos. Yeah, it was the Bears. I'm colorblind. I'm kidding. But Woozy finds the hat trick.
It actually kind of turned into a bit of a 50 here. Both players kind of the same direction, but Pangolin has a much more awkward angle to try to hit the ball at. So he tried to move off to the side to maybe just push it off into the corner, but much easier shot for Woozy, and he got to it beforehand too, so that's that.
Ooh. There goes Preston to the Shadow Realm for a moment as Durtho elevates. Bacon steals it away. There was someone else coming rushing. I'm pretty sure that was Woozy. Now Preston off the respawn, who went to get the boost at midfield, was in hot water, manages to make the save in a 2-on-1. Opportunity for a turnaround in favor of the Broncos. Give and go from Durtho to Preston. Chef's kiss. That's goal number 4.
That was probably even just a little bit more of a cherry on top than was necessary, because they already had the goalie, Doc Swag, fly right past the ball. I was a little bit nervous that Preston might be getting a bit too fancy and knock out a shot that would have gone in, but it works out.
The ever so horrible, my teammate stopped my goal from going in moment did not happen, thankfully. Preston in the defensive third, looking for a teammate, finds Durtho. Ball is just rolling across the ceiling as Woozy shot on goal from mid. Remember what I said before the start of this game, those midfield shots more often than not aren't going to work out. Preston looking to set something else up for their teammates. Will they be able to find him?
I would say he does.
Jacob, did Durtho actually make contact on that?
I'm pretty sure he did. I think both of them hit it at the same time, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, because I was like,
If it was an own goal, I'm pretty sure it would have given it to the last player who made contact with it.
I believe you're correct.
Woozy, nice cheap position to get the Broncos side control off of this kickoff, staying back toward the Broncos' goal. But as long as the Broncos keep steady possession of it, prevent any shots on goal from going through, then they can just ride this timer on out to victory, as we're nearing just half a minute left in Game 2.
I mean, the ball currently is in the Broncos' defensive third. If they want to play keep away, they can, but 30 seconds in Rocket League time can feel like forever. Especially when one of your teammates gets demoed, you can't get too risky, too flashy as Woozy elevates, loses the ball immediately to Bacon, but somehow Preston comes in. It's another shot on goal. Won't go into the back of the net. We've got 10 seconds remaining. Maybe another goal-scoring opportunity is in the cards currently, but it's not going to change the final outcome of this match with 6 seconds on the clock.
Good on Bacon, though, for still finding an opportunity to put one onto the Broncos. This is just a result of some awkward positioning by the Broncos. They're all in their own corner. Apparently got ants in their pants from the way they're just jumping up all around.
You saw Durtho like shove Preston out of the way there, right? It wasn't just me?
Maybe that was just a thing of like the goal that almost wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit of a, I know what you did.
This will teach you for trying to goal steal next time.
Well, you were saying all the shots on goal would decrease their ratio of completions, but I think the only ratio the Broncos care about is 74% to 26 on shots on goal.
Look, it's shots taken. It's not shots actually scored versus how many shots were taken. Like, if I were to break this down, you would know that, oh my gosh, they had to take so many attempts. But again, to fall back on that old saying, you miss 100 of the shots you don't take. So the less shot opportunities you have, the harder it is for you to make goals. Obviously. And the Broncos demonstrate that here. But, you know, there's always that thing of quality over quantity. Sometimes I question it.
I also kind of just have to also add that a lot of those shots just came in as a natural result of the intense side control the Broncos have. When you manage to press the other team against the goal, sometimes you're just going to get some quick shots like that might not be the most accurate. And hey, I'd much rather that be the case than us being pressed up against our own goal.
That is true. That would never make any Bronco happy. I mean, a horse is meant to be set free. I was trying to come up with some sort of like wise saying with horses, and I really couldn't. I just drew a blank.
Okay.
I'm not that fast all the time. I apologize.
A horse that is free has a foot in the saddle. I give up.
Yep, see? It's not that easy. On the fly with these horse ones, even though we are Broncos, the two of us, obviously.
And I know that horses being around since ancient antiquity, there's got to be some wise proverbs about horses. It's just completely eluding us.
The only one I know is you can take a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. That doesn't apply. I can't make that work for Rocket League, but Emiliano, nonetheless, Durtho is going to try to make something happen for their team here. And he's unsuccessful because now it looks like the Bears are starting to read the Broncos a little bit more and are saying, no, these aerial plays, you're not getting away with them as easily. So the ball is currently in the defensive third for Boise State.
20 seconds in, and the Broncos are trying to find some sort of clear. Preston moves in, they played around a few players, and Bacon is able, with the battle bus, no less, to stop that clear.
They decided to up the cosmetics on their cars because the cosmetic game is definitely currently favoring the Bears right now.
I always enjoy when another team kind of outclasses the other in terms of just pure skins. I mean, we got the battle bus, we've got watermelon skin as well, and Bacon with an opportunity to almost get a goal, but it's just going to trickle away from them.
Bacon also managed to take Preston out in that moment, and the watermelon car truly is my favorite. It's even got the watermelon wedge wheels and the hat, so pristine. That is definitely Rocket League runway, but we have Durtho trying to say your fashion doesn't matter. What matters is my team's opportunity to set up goals. There's a give and go from Durtho. Actually, it's Preston to the back wall, to Durtho, to Woozy. And it works out swimmingly for the Broncos. That's their first goal in this game. Let's see if they can get a few more on there. See, there it is. It's just perfect. And the antenna.
Everything is in conjunction. It's all a finished package. I love it. Meanwhile, the Broncos pass it off over to the corner, or redirect to try to find a goal. Bacon goes flying past that shot on goal attempt. Pass over to Woozy. Durtho's ready to put a shot on goal. He's actually going to put it into the corner instead. Whipped by the Broncos on that 50, but Preston now as the defense Manages to try to pass over to Durtho, who will have to take it himself, though, to keep moving up the field. Woozy heading up the side. Preston trying to put it in. It bounces right off the front post, and the Broncos rotated up. Oh, Woozy was just there in time. And
Wait, what?
well, okay then. Maybe it was all according to plan.
Look, I know the phrase for Rocket League players is calculated, but honestly, I just think Woozy has the autopilot on lock of, I need to rotate back, I did what I need to do, I'm rotating back, does that, and then we have Durtho, who's just always in that mid zone. So Durtho was like, oh look, ball!
Doc Swag pass over to mid, but there's no one to take the shot. Woozy pass back over. They try to push it toward Durtho, but Pangolin is disrupting it. Gets a shot back toward mid. Broncos will push it off to the side to prevent a shot on goal. Bacon moves in, puts a shot, but Durtho and Woozy both commit to it. They will manage to block it. Broncos stay in a 2-goal lead as we're nearing the halfway mark.
Definitely fewer accolades and shots on goal from both sides thus far in game number 3? 2?
3.
3. Yes. I can math sometimes. So something has changed, and I think it's more that Berkeley has started to read the Broncos, and what they want to do is taking this unbridled horse and threw a saddle on them. However, whether or not this Wild Stallion will obey is another question, as we're still leading by 2 in favor of Boise State. Finally, I set up a semi-horse pun that kind of made sense.
As an ancient Turkish proverb says, if you speak the truth, have a foot in the stirrup, and if Broncos want to get into a bigger lead, they want to have a ball in the goal, but they're not going to be able to find it. Still in midfield, looking for another.
Preston and Woozy shot on goal, double commit from the defense. Pangolin will find the save. Durtho slows this ball down, still in the defensive third of the Bears. They have yet to find a clean clear, but Doc Swag comes in off the back wall. But Preston, I don't know how you managed to get involved in that play, but you did it as Durtho now crossing midfield stripe. Fakes out one gets demoed. That's Woozy, unfortunately. Most likely a reset for Boise State. Bacon chasing after this opportunity, sets one up for Pangolin, but Woozy reads it, makes the save. Ball pinched near the ceiling at midfield stripe. It's pushed back into the corner. Doc Swag's not giving up just yet. Bacon off the wall, tries to center it to a teammate. Unfortunately, those teammates push too far forward, and they're forced to completely reset the play. This is dangerous territory. They clear it to midfield stripe. That's Doc Swag in the air, but Woozy looks as though they're probably going to read that one. He does. Sent to the corner by Durtho.
We're just under a minute for the third game. Broncos leading by 2. Looking for a final third insurance goal to lock it away. There's still enough time for Cal Berkeley, the Bears, to put a shot on goal like that, but Preston will be able to save. Maybe a follow-up is in the works, but Woozy will take control off into the corner. We'll drive it back to mid. Goes up against Doc Swag. Both of them kind of have a stalemate. Durtho comes up, makes contact with it. Only one touch, however. He'll go back down to the ground, try to get another dribble going. Doc Swag, pass over to Bacon. Preston wins the 33-33-33 instead of the 50-50 because there was a double commit from the Broncos, but they are recovering with another shot on goal.
I don't know. That got risky real fast, and Doc Swag says, thanks. You took a shot. I'm going to take you out of the game for a moment. Ball is in the defensive third for Boise State. It's 2-0. No time left. They theoretically don't need to find another goal. Either way, this is a Bronco victory, and indeed it is. That's game 3 over to Boise State. We can take a look here. Total shots on goal, not as heavily one-sided, but it is a 20% difference at the end of the day. The boost use and ball control, pretty close, actually favoring Cal Berkeley as far as boost control goes, but those shots on goal, that 20% obviously made the difference. That 20% was roughly 10% per the 2 goals that the Broncos scored.
And another quick look back at some of the goals that the Broncos scored. The first one kind of a result of that double commit that Cal took. Both of them kind of tried to elevate straight up into the goal. And then, man, that rotation over to Woozy, and then this recovery with Durtho just pushing it back in.
Calculated
that was
play.
Way too fast for, I think, anyone to keep track of.
Woozy was way too fast getting into the defensive rotation from when I saw him involved with the play, and then back at the back post, too fast. And so the fact that Durtho was then all the way up in the offensive third, sometimes I just give up.
So the Broncos go 3 for 3, but There is still one game left in this best of 7 if the Broncos want to claim victory. But as far as best of 7s go, this one has been rather fast.
It has. Just keep in mind that every time someone scores a goal, the clock stops. So it could go a lot longer. That is why sometimes as casters we beg of you to not get too overzealous. But considering this is the last, what could be the last match in a best of 7, we could see things start to get a little bit crazy, some more attempted flashy plays that the Broncos are notorious for getting punished for. We'll have to wait and see as the ball is currently in their defensive third. It's going to be Preston to try to play it around Pangolin. Doc Swag comes in. Woozy versus Doc Swag. Woozy wins it out. Woozy goes forward, crosses midfield stripe, tries to flick it up over one, is unsuccessful. We're back in the defensive third for just a moment as Woozy demos Doc Swag.
Possible opening. Durtho has to take out Pangolin, but the time he took to get the demo, the shot evaded him, but now he has another chance. Flip reset, trying to push it in with the help of Preston. Woozy will be the third man anchor, and the Broncos go into the lead.
All right, so we got flip reset, Crossy comes in, and then Woozy, who is just vibing at the top of the goal box, is like, oh, my turn.
Next kick off. A little under a minute for the Broncos to score their first goal. Franklin with control of the ball, trying to get it in. Ball kind of gets away from him. Bacon on a follow-up and a double commit by the Broncos. Seems like everyone just getting, I don't know, everything just kind of getting a little loose there for the past 10 seconds. We'll see if people can recover. Woozy does get a nice save pass over to Preston. To Durtho, all three of them get in on it, but it isn't going to turn into a goal, just some more side control. And this could be a dangerous shot by Doc Swag right in there. Huge bomber.
I think the tree is, well, technically there is a fruit goal, like goal animation, but you know, the tree, I'll take it.
Fruits grow on trees.
They do, but watermelons don't.
Watermelons don't, but you're in the same botanical area.
Yeah.
Close enough for a family reunion.
There we go, as we have Bacon, definitely not a fruit. Attempt to push forward, unfortunately is thwarted as Woozy to Durtho in the air. It goes to the lower left. The accuracy was just a little bit short. Durtho looking for an opportunity to steal the ball back. It's Doc Swag slowing down, plays it around Preston, centers it up, but unfortunately it's Woozy to make first contact. Double commit, and Preston realizes, no, I'm just going to leave that to you, Durtho. Now we have Bacon steal the ball away just for a moment as it's instantly taken back by Preston. Doc Swag tries to make contact. Unfortunately, though, the minor steals that are occurring left and right are not deterring the Broncos.
Doc Swag just looks on. Seems the watermelon.
Oh, it was crying.
It's crying. It's fallen from the tree. Thank goodness watermelons don't grow on trees, or else Newton sure would have been done for. Let's just say that.
Very true.
Woozy now trying to get control of it. Pangolin will move in, try to center it and set it up. It goes flying over Bacon, and it could have been the revenge of the watermelon by Doc Swag. The Broncos get a clutch save. Thank Preston for that one.
Emiliano jukes out too, but doesn't juke out Doc Swag. 50-50 favors Woozy. He's going to go for the double touch off the wall. Durtho tries to redirect it in the net, but it was low and slow. Gets saved, but all three members of the Bears are corralled in one area. Opportunity for the Broncos to maintain this offensive pressure they've had thus far. They get another shot, but again, too slow as Doc goes to the midfield with possession.
Durtho runs into it right at the same time as Doc Swag. It results in a pinch that was almost a goal for the Broncos. Definitely would like that. Oh, Bacon didn't even see that one coming. Preston just zeroed in like a rocket toward him. A lot of contests in midfield. Doc Swag moves in, but that might be positioning that might benefit the Broncos more. Durtho will take it, leave it for Woozy. They take another shot, Preston. The angle is just too close.
Durtho not giving up just yet. Is going to be ganged up slightly on by the Bears. Pangolin goes forward. It's a give and go to Bacon. It's low. It gets popped up by Preston. Sent to Woozy, who crosses midfield. There's no one home. Somehow, though, Doc Swag races back in time to make contact with the ball, but it's in the air. Two defenders have committed, but Pangolin was also available. Pushes it to midfield. It's Doc Swag versus Woozy. Woozy makes contact, sends it to mid. Pangolin pops it up. It's not crossing into the Bears territory just yet as we have a double demo. Bacon and Woozy both out for a moment. Durtho, will you take this open field opportunity to make some magic happen? It looks like you might. Yes. Dortho delivers. That's goal number 3.
That was so beautiful, just that last-minute adjustment to play it over Bacon. Almost kind of a little bit of a pogo shot, if you will. He bounces off his front bumper, and his back bumper bounces up to push it over the other player. Very nice.
Kickoff does favor Berkeley. Preston off the back wall rebound. Tries to do some fancy tire work, it's the best way to explain it, but loses possession. Woozy does make the save nonetheless. Bacon attempts to move forward, has it stolen away by Dortho. Dortho in a one-on-one, tries to fake out Doc. Instead, it's Pangolin to read. Dortho, like a book, cuts in, steals the ball, makes the shot, and now they're within striking distance of catching back up to the Broncos.
It goes past Dortho and Woozy as well. Woozy finds himself positioned right up next to Dortho. Might have thought that Dortho would leave it for him. Maybe he could have gotten it clear, but that was way up past the goal, leaving it wide open for a shot. Oxwag now moving off to the side. Oh, that's a nice shot by the Broncos. Giving them back a side control. Maybe an insurance goal. Not going to happen quite yet.
Preston from the corner elevates, gets it past Pangolin. Doc Swag, though, tries to stop. Oh, this could be dangerous territory. Instead, it's Bacon to make the save. Bacon now crossing midfield stripe, gives it to Pangolin. Pangolin off the back wall. Bacon tries to get the ball touch, but can't find it. Doc Swag, who came from the mid. There's now no one protecting this goal. Preston.
Whoa!
Are you kidding?
How did that one not go in? My goodness. That was just a 90-degree angle from the contact he made with the ball. But this one is going to go in thanks to Woozy being right there for the assist.
We'll consider that redemption because it occurred within we'll give it roughly 5 seconds after the whoopsies that occurred just before this, because wow, I don't know how that did not go in.
At this point now, 2 goals to make up in just 20 seconds. It would have to be off of a kickoff, at least one of them, and that one isn't going to be it. So unless Cal Berkeley can recover, this will be a victory for the Broncos, 4-0 in this rally cry game. And now with just 5 seconds left, I am for sure confident in calling this one for the Broncos. Maybe an extra goal on top. They're just going to have to settle for 4-2. But good job all around by the Broncos. 4-0 sweep against Cal Berkeley.
Yeah, sorry, soccer rules. Every pixel of that ball must cross the line.
Mm-hmm. And so now we move on to our NACE match that we have on deck as well, which is going to be University of South Florida.
Okay, South Florida, I am very familiar with both their varsity and their academy team. I believe this is the Knights. Very good squads. Have followed them for about 2 years now in total. I anticipate this to be a little bit more challenging than what we just witnessed, simply because this is now NACE, and this is where a lot of the rubber meets the pitch in this instance. Yep. NACE is really where people start to commit, so to speak. Other than our LCS, it's like NACE is the big leagues.
It just isn't normal NACE as well, because this semester NACE has been launching its Division I league as well. So it's not just like you're facing off against any community college from anywhere. It's like this is top schools with a lot of resources going up against each other.
So you're telling me it's the creme de la creme?
Yes.
So I expect things to be awesome. If they're not awesome, I'll be disappointed. Well, that's just simply how it is. I'm throwing the gauntlet down now.
If that isn't the only thing to put the Broncos on a little bit more pressure, we also have Dortho, who's joining us with family member as well. It's brought to the arena to cheer him on as well. Dortho had a great time at the arena just yesterday, I'm told, as well, getting in on a local community event for some high schoolers. Just really fun, all the local stuff that goes down here at the esports arena.
No pressure. No pressure, Emiliano. We love you and care about you, but no pressure.
And it looks like, he's getting the final go-ahead from the head coach. Before we get into the game, we want to give a thank you to one of our sponsors, the Idaho Army National Guard, who brings you the top 5 plays of each game. They're one of the best teams to join out there. They invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. They've got many jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. So if you want to reach out to Idaho Army National Guard, then you can reach out to them on Instagram at iGuardIdaho.
Oh, we're dropping the Instagram handles now, too?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I don't use Instagram.
Mm. Well,
I changed phones and lost the password.
Oh, okay. That's always how, and you can never figure out if it was the username or the password.
Yeah, and so I just give up. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not worth it. Social media drains me anyway. But like Jacob said, be sure to reach out to the Idaho Army National Guard at iGuard Gaming. You can also find them on Twitch.
Yep, yeah, Twitch at iGuard Gaming, then iGuard Idaho for Instagram. Plenty of places you can reach out to them now on Facebook, Twitter, just any social media site you can find them on. Meanwhile, as we're ready to head into this game, it's going to be a tough match against South Florida, even tougher one against Michigan State as well. I believe Boise State faced off against Michigan State just last week, so these are a lot of matches against kind of the same schools. And I do think coming up Wednesday in Valorant, Broncos will be going up against South Florida as well. So this is going to be quite a common matchup for this next week.
Okay, so hear me out. Broncos, basically what we're saying is you need to set the bar high for the rest of the teams. You need to win fast, and then look at the Val squad and be like, look, we did it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, well, then you have bragging rights.
Which, serendipitously, the Val squad is actually on stage,
yeah,
too.
They're right there.
They're in a scrim right there, too. So they get to look on in person to see the Broncos kind of set the stage for the rest of the week.
Well, best of luck to our Bronco squad. I wish them the best. I'm pretty sure, NACE, this is best of 5, or is this best?
Best
yes.
of 5.
Okay, best of 5. Once again, so we have costume changes occurring.
Putting on the jerseys, which there are so many colors of jerseys that the Broncos wear now. They've got orange jerseys, black jerseys, which they're wearing tonight, and then the blue ones that came in. The
jealous
blue
of
ones.
the blue ones. I want to
Back in my day, we only had the white jerseys, and that was it.
Doc, can I get a blue jersey? Doc, please. Doc is like my dad, so I'm going to beg him. My birthday just happened, Doc, like almost a month ago now. I was sick, but Doc, can I get a blue jersey? Please.
You don't want to leave.
Please?
You don't want to leave Artie hanging, don't
Right?
you? We'll just have to see. Yeah,
Maybe I'll get lucky.
Maybe, or maybe it falls on deaf ears. We just don't know. But the players certainly have a lot to smile about, especially depending on how they do for this particular game. And one thing I was noticing about the Broncos, at least in the first game, which is kind of such a major strength, is that they do so well in calling out their positions that oftentimes you just have these seamless follow-ups. Sometimes all three players in the same kind of offensive drive put their own shot on goal, and the other team, they just kind of run out the commits that the other team can put.
On occasion, though, we do see that also be their Achilles heel. We overcommit on goals, and then there's a fresh open net for the enemy team, so to speak. We just got to be careful of those overcommits to make sure the rotations happen on time. And this is a different squad now on stage than what we had in our previous match, so keep that in mind. A little bit of a different roster. The rotations are a little bit different. Communication's also different. So with those different ingredients mixed in, we're going to have a different flavored cake.
Yep.
I did just call our Broncos a cake.
Yeah, perfect analogy in my book.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, there are a few players that we can count on. Of course, Durtho, who has family here, we know that he's going to play again as well. Which something that really stood out to me in that last game was just the ability of these players to control their car physics so well that Durtho especially has these times where he just grazes the ball by a few pixels, but it's the perfect angle to go into the goal. Not only that, but if you follow Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, you can have a lot of success. Those keys are to set your play style, understand your rotations, play to follow up, and employ those sweaty comms. It's all brought to you by Dropping Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Now just a few more seconds left before we get into the actual game, the NACE game that we have all been waiting for, because Boise State has definitely been competitive in the NACE standings thus far, always kind of up there near the top, but having a lot of tough schools to go up against. They've already started the night off well with one win. Can they turn it into another one, as we've got the Bulls versus the Broncos?
Picturing that in my head, the stampede is real.
And the Bears first game. We've got Bears, Bulls, and Broncos tonight. Oh my.
We're not in Kansas anymore as we enter into the stadium. And yes, I'm going to continue to say that those are Easter eggs that just have not been decorated. And we are approaching Easter season, so now it's fitting. If you were to predict this, Jacob, because I know we failed at this epically the other day, I must ask.
Yes.
Are we going to see all 5 games?
No, I'm actually going to call it, I think, the Broncos sweep.
You think a 3-0 here for our second series of the
I
day.
think they're ready to go. We've got South Florida versus Boise State. Let's see how it turns out. We've got the custom colors in. Always nice to see that. Durtho tries to take a dribble, but it is stopped by Yagami. We've also got Boehner and Sapp on deck. And Sapp places a shot on the goal very quickly. Preston Reason is able to save. Durtho now moving back up the field, trying to gain the Broncos some ground. Going to leave it for Gill. Shot toward the goal. It connects, and the Broncos are in the lead.
Finding the first goal within 22 seconds can be a delightful opportunity to parlay that into other goals. To quote Jacob, I stole the word parlay from him. But it also can be very scary. These early leads mean that the other team can also do the same thing to you, so don't get too big for your britches as we go into the next kickoff. It goes into the air, and Durtho sends it to the back wall. It's pinched off by Yagami, who's going to bring it forward to the midfield stripe. Quickly challenged by Preston, who manages to steal that ball away. Banger in the corner, who dwindled back during the previous play, gets possession as Gill gets demoed, plays it up over Durtho. Durtho elevates just enough to pinch it up and over, and is quickly sent back to the defensive third of Boise State, and Preston makes another save. Perfect goalkeeper for the Broncos.
It was a save, but it was a double commit as well. Gill also getting in on that, so we'll have to see if the coordination, if that's a problem that keeps rearing its head. Gill trying to get us clear. He'll find it, but has to pay his life for it. Boehner looking over the field, goes in for the second touch. Gill whiffs on it, but Durtho is there as a backup. That was way too scary for my taste.
They like to give us heart palpitations on this desk. Some people say my blood pressure is too high, and to that I say yes, and it is the fault of these players as we have Preston demo Banger. Ball's going to be sent to the back wall in the defensive third for Boise State. Durtho, once again, dwindling past that midfield stripe zone, finally rotates in. Ball is in the air. Banger elevates, plays it off the wall to themselves. Double commit from South Florida?
The only other thing that they might have been trying was maybe some sort of fancy pinch to place a quick shot on goal, but it doesn't land. Broncos still maintaining this one-goal lead. Yagami into the corner. Preston back to the center. Center field contention. Sapp's going to wait for it, puts the shot back, but it's straight and easy to answer for Gill, who passes it to Preston. Back to Durtho. It's up in front of the goal. Preston goes in, but Sapp beats him to it and clears the ball out.
One of the Doc's keys of old was to demo the keeper, and perhaps if we demo the keeper, you might be able to find the back of the net, because both of these squads have very strong defense keepers. And as I'm saying that, I managed to caster curse this. Look, I do it at least once per game, if not once per broadcast, if not once per game. We're equalized one aside. There's roughly 3 minutes on the clock. We're okay, and I'm sorry.
You did warn against them getting too big for their britches, or in the case of Rocket League, too big for their bearings, I would say. Broncos now are going to have to try to recover off this kickoff. Boehner in a good position to get some field possession right off the bat. Durtho goes right up against Sapp. Gill is also going to get a touch on it. Preston following close behind. Boehner back off to the side. Preston is going to move back, doesn't want to overcommit. Durtho will take possession. Move back up to midfield. Broncos tied up as we have officially passed the halfway mark. A little over 2 minutes remaining.
Banger tries to play off the wall to themselves, ends up being thwarted. The ball's remaining in this defensive third for a bit longer than probably what makes them comfortable. Finally, they cross midfield stripe as Sapp gets demoed by Gill. Preston steals the ball away, drops it to the ground, has it taken right back by Sapp, but Durtho coming from the midfield, attempts to play it off the back wall. 2 defenders commit to take it away. Crossing back into the defensive territory for Boise State. It's Preston to pop it up. It ricochets back, once again, just to the backboard. Backboard defense and no Broncos in sight, but Durtho races in. Pinch down towards the ground. It's a 3-on-1. Gill's going to try to attempt to help out Durtho and set something up. Flicks it forward. Banger will commit to make the save, and it's a reset for the Broncos because Durtho whiffs on another attempt on goal.
Huge shot by Gill, though. Another one placed onto the goal. Preston, nice rotation back. Going to leave the Broncos goal open. Boehner, though, he was the one who scored last time. Can he get another shot on goal? Durtho defending. Gill will take it away from him. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. And nice Preston. I didn't think he'd win that 50, but he kind of does with that second touch. Get the Broncos a little bit of side control back. Gill elevating up to take it away from Yagami. Spiked down into the ground where Boehner has possession. Preston trying to take it away from him. Sapp, I thought he might place a shot on goal there, but the Broncos managed to shake it off to the side.
Gill took too many touches in the air, and Yagami capitalized on it, but Preston, who waited patiently, steals it from Yagami on the ground. Is this carried into the net? It's saved by Sapp in the corner. Durtho is attempting to set something up again. Does managed to fake out 2, and Gil comes in, finds the chink in the armor. That is another goal for Boise State, putting them in the lead by 1. I think we have sub 1 minute remaining, so it's not quite the nail in the coffin, but someone is definitely holding the hammer right now.
45 seconds left, though. Still plenty of time to make up just 1 goal. Gil moving up after the kickoff, elevates up. He runs out of boost, can't make contact with the ball. In the corner, Durtho will pass back to Preston.
Ooh.
Quick shot on
Ooh.
goal, up the
That was
crossbar.
good.
That is the hammer slamming down into the nail.
These midfield shots, I've mentioned it in our other series, they're a lot harder to connect, but early on you might find success as people are trying to gather that boost resource. Additionally, no one's really anticipating those midfield shots all the time because they're like, it's too easy to read, you're not going to do it. So sometimes you can go for it. It works out, and obviously it does.
Durtho looking to gain possession. A bit of a demolition derby happening between the players. Banger not able to really get a good tap on it. Ball still in their half. Sap trying to keep it away from Gil. Durtho will make contact, heads back over to Yagami. Yagami starts his dribble, double touch, flip reset, continuing forward, but stopped by the Broncos. Now I'd say for sure not enough time for a recovery from South Florida. Broncos will take the first game.
Okay, so something that I find very interesting is we see the Broncos, they go for these initial aerials, and when you notice that they're taking 1 too many touches in the air, South Florida suddenly appears like they were out of their worst nightmare. I'm also noticing that the Broncos have the patience to just watch South Florida attempt to do the same thing, but as soon as they mess up, they eat them alive like barracudas in water. They're deadly, and that is scary. However, if South Florida continues to take away these aerial opportunities, it's going to get a whole lot harder for the Broncos squad to keep this game in their favor.
And that's just kind of another thing of just trying to win those mid-air 50s more consistently. I mean, Broncos are very adept at getting to the ball quick, fast, and easy, and all these flips that they do in mid-air so effortlessly definitely help them at that. As we can see onto the field, we see Preston off to the right, Durtho off to the left, and then there's Gil all the way over on the side. So those are the 3 all lined up, Gil, Durtho, and Preston, ready to get their second win, and my prediction, still a possibility in the air.
It is. The question is, does it come true, or does Doc pull out the whiteboard?
Or does, yeah, now I'm scared. Just even mentioning that, Doc with a whiteboard, really, it's putting me on edge. Maybe the Broncos can alleviate my fears, and maybe a more serene location such as Forbidden Temple can make me be a bit calmer here as one of the prettiest stages that Rocket League has to offer.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It is quite beautiful, and we're going to drop in 4 seconds post kickoff. Looks like Gil is going to battle Sap for possession. Preston comes in to help out, gets it past Banger. It's going to be Yagami to elevate, push the ball back towards midfield. The Gil pops it over to Durtho, who's playing off the wall, dunks it down onto the ground. Can you bounce it past 2? Double commit. Will Gil make the rotation in time? Barely gets contact and tries to send it to Durtho. Grab that mega boost. Preston cuts in. That's goal number 1 in quick fashion.
I know they're the Bulls, but they're colored green. They were hopping up in front of their own goal. They look more like frogs in that scenario, but they just didn't have too much boost to work with since the shot came so close after the goal, after the initial kickoff, excuse me. So Broncos up 1, 30 seconds in.
Banger up over 1. Preston's cutting in, though. Immediately sends it to midfield stripe. Sap pinches it off the wall. Durtho will make contact, steal it, and push it forward. Banger whiffs onto the attempt of steal. Yagami manages to find it, gives it to Sap. The give and go ends up with Preston, who gives it to Gil in a risky situation. It works out nonetheless.
It wasn't so risky, but the way the camera was positioned and the depth perception, that's more risky. That's legitimately more risky and officially the equalizer for South Florida.
This is why I'm thankful we don't have direct caster cams, because I phased at that moment. Okay, we're tied 1 aside and we have 4 minutes, so it's like Spike Rush but in Rocket League?
Okay, I'll take that.
Well, look, it's 0-0, 4 minutes on the clock.
That's fine, and the Broncos trying to chase after this ball. Yagami trying to keep it away from them. Sap doesn't have anyone to pass to, though. That's an easy intercept by Preston. Moving up now, here goes Gil, Yagami, and Sap off to the side, actually. Sap comes screaming in out of the side. Messes up the Broncos shot. Sapp, nice redirect toward Broncos goal. Gill has to defend. He'll find the save. Can he turn that into a clear? He'll leave it for Durtho. Nice pop. Yagami now moving up to the others. Moving as the ball heads over to the other corner of the field. Can he find his clear? Back over to mid. Pass to Banger. Back toward RSC State's defensive third. See if the Broncos can keep them at bay.
50-50 favors Preston. Attempted touch and go to Gill. Ends up with the duo of South Florida in the defensive third for Boise State. Yagami goes for the shot. Preston makes the save. Jacob has to wait with bated breath as we try to turn this into an offensive opportunity. It's Durtho with possession. Just gets it chipped away by one of the defensive players from South Florida. Preston in the corner, bounces it to the mid. Gill almost makes the shot. Durtho with the secondary attempt. Do we have a tertiary? Nope, it gets cleared to midfield stripe.
Heading clear back over toward Gill, but he doesn't quite make contact with it. But the Broncos recover so beautifully, but it's still not a goal. Sapp with a great block. Yagami now looking to contest in midfield. Moves around, takes it away from Durtho. It's going to have to be all up to Preston to put the Broncos back on track here.
Sapp tries to corral the ball. Gill capitalizes on the touch, pushes it into the corner. It's Banger against Preston. Preston has Durtho for the give and go, but unfortunately Durtho's just going to have to go to the Mega Boost and reset the play. There was slight contact from South Florida. It got redirected towards the midfield stripe. Durtho once again with possession has Preston come in. Preston in the air, challenged by two. Consecutive double commits from South Florida go unpunished. So now they carried across midfield stripe, stolen by Durtho. Durtho challenged by Sapp. Preston tries to find the shot in, but Sapp carries it nonetheless to midfield stripe, goes for the double touch, gives it to Yagami, and Preston will cut in just in time to force it slightly to the left. Another shot saved by Gill.
Take a look at the shots on goal. It's a slight lead for South Florida, a lot more even than it was game one. Preston is going to try to start a clear. Gill gets demoed in the backfield. Bainer now ready to push another shot onto goal, and Preston flies right past it. Sapp looking to recover with a pass over to Yagami. Centering yet again, Gill to take it back into the corner. Durtho off the wall, unable to contest against Bainer. Broncos attempt out a redirect there, doesn't find it. South Florida will continue putting pressure.
Preston pops the ball up, challenged by Yagami on the ground. It's Banger, but the shot ain't right. The follow-up from Sapp is got a minute and 3 seconds on the clock with the Broncos now trailing by one, but it is just one. It is in the cards for them to bring this back in their favor.
But it is the first time that they have trailed in this match, so a bit of unfamiliar territory for them. Just 1 minute to bring it back. 1 minute, and Durtho trying to make something happen, but it gets blocked by Yagami in mid-air. Preston passes to Gill. Shot on goal. They find it. Not even 10 seconds after South Florida scored. What a play. What a rally.
All right, Jacob, let me bring you back down to earth a little bit here because your energy is up here, but the scoreline is now flat.
It is, but the Broncos, at least they're not trailing.
That is true.
At least they'll go into overtime. At least the timer isn't their worst enemy right now. That's something to celebrate.
Jacob spoke about it. He has now put it into existence.
And I have just, and you just put it out of existence, as you were saying. I put it into existence because Sapp just comes in. This is a beautiful setup here, and Gill just can't win on that 50. South Florida keeping the Broncos on their toes.
That was like 14 seconds, and we had 3 goals scored. Broncos probably can deliver another one in kind as we have it slowed down slightly by Gill. Banger will elevate, get it up and over Gill. It is saved by Preston. Now saved by Durtho. Still in the defensive third for Boise State. Banger with possession. All 3 members are kind of corralled up. Looks like they're getting a little shaken by this being down 1 in this goal deficit situation. Durtho, though, finally.
Time to go home.
Oh, Sapp, where did you come from?
Oh, that was your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Apparently it is a moody teenager as Durtho once again is going to look to play it forward. Durtho against Yagami, though. Yagami's been that playmaker for South Florida. The question is, with 4 seconds remaining, can the Broncos keep this ball in the air long enough to find 1 goal to send us into overtime? If it stays in the air, we're good, but USF decides to ground it instead. That's game 2 to South Florida. Now we're in a best of 3.
There was a position there right at the end where I think Gill could have gotten just one last shot on goal, but he was positioned up a little bit too far and the ball landed behind him. And so South Florida has now shaken off the dust, tied it all up in Game 2. We will at least see a Game 4 in the NACE Collegiate Rocket League. Of course, I wouldn't expect anything else in the Division I conference, even though I predicted the other way, but let's just ignore that.
All right, so as we go into the next game, I'm hoping to see it seems like the secret sauce is missing right now. I'm not entirely sure what that is. It's like Preston's normally a little bit more heavy-handed with these demos, and I think they're getting olayed a little bit too much. But if Yagami can just be plucked out just a little bit here and there, maybe frustrated a little bit.
That is true. The Broncos haven't gotten quite as many disruption goals as they normally do, whether it's kind of just a demo or just a bump into the other goal to get them out of position. It's something that the Broncos haven't quite been bringing out as much as they would wish.
Well, let's see if that magic starts to make its way back into this game for the Boise State Broncos squad. This is Game 2 of our NACE Star League series. Currently tied 1-1. Team to win the next one will set themselves up at series points. Let's see how it goes as we tick down. Now, first kickoff. It's going to favor South Florida, but Durtho will snag it off the wall.
Oh, a quick shot right off the kickoff.
Thank you, Crossy.
Wow. That is the only player for the Broncos that was in. My goodness, that crossbar. So clutch.
Definitely had me a little scared. Yagami in the air, gives it to Sap. Elevation from Gil, dunks it down into the left corner. Opportunity for Durtho to push forward. Instead, Banger followed up to try and stop Durtho's speed. Was successful. It's Yagami in their own defensive third with possession. Who's going to go for the challenge? It's Gil, and then follow-up from Preston. Preston centers it above the net. It is going to be saved by Banger as it trails back towards mid. Stopped by Durtho once again. Accidental give and go from the defense. Opportunity for shot on goal from Preston. It's going to get thwarted and sent to midfield stripe. Durtho trying to catch up. Manages to flick the ball in the air. There's the demo onto Sap. Can we turn this into a goal scoring opportunity? Not just yet, as now Banger's carrying across midfield stripe and Gil is being bodied out of the play.
Gil, one touch, making it two. Stopped by Yagami. Right dead center of the field, though Sap loses possession of it. This could be an opening for Preston. He has to go up against Banger, who gets to it before him. Gil moves up and doesn't really manage to push it much farther past the midfield. In fact, anywhere in. Oh, another quick shot by Sap puts South Florida into the lead.
Unfortunately, Durtho had just been demoed and coming off demo with no resource. Trying to make a save is extremely difficult. Gil just made the initial elevation, so classic Rocket League play. It works out most of the time. As we go into the next kickoff, it's going to be Banger to send it into the defensive third for Boise State. Durtho dunks it down, but dunks it to Yagami.
Kind of a bad bounce off of Durtho. Not really finding the player he was looking for. Instead, grounds it and sets it right up for a shot on goal by South Florida.
Still have 3 minutes, and I'm going to round up to 30 seconds on the clock. There is a demo from Preston onto Yagami. Now is the opportunity for the Broncos to start a forward attack. In the smoke, the ball manages to make it back out of that.
They have not made any progress into the other team's territory at all. It has just been one-sided throughout the entire game. And another shot. Durtho, we're starting to see whiffs by the Broncos where they normally, when they're going for the ball, they make contact almost every time. Things are just slipping away.
Preston slows down, makes contact, sends it to Durtho. Durtho pops it up. Gil pushes Sap out of the way. Fortunately, the shot still gets saved by Banger. Elevation from Sap. Sends it into the corner. Durtho reads it, flicks it towards the net, but Yagami was there, so Preston goes for follow play off the backboard, but as it drops down, it's touched by Banger. Gil sends it to Durtho. Durtho will flick the ball into the air. Sees Sap, also sees Banger putting pressure on, so Preston comes in. The ball is going to be pitched back towards mid. Gil grabs the boost, manages to make contact, volley it right across, sends it to Preston. Yagami's in the air, though. Yagami whiffs! And unfortunately, Banger at the corner will manage to make the save.
Into the corner, and a follow-up by Preston puts one on. Nice elevation by Yagami. Gets another save for the Bulls. And the Broncos score, and they can! Gil finds a way to just sneak it in there, and a much-needed morale boost.
Hang on, what? See, this is why I didn't study math.
Yeah, no, Gil goes for the Doomsy and is actually able to find it. Nice job there.
All right, 2 goals, roughly half the game remaining is definitely an opportunity for the Broncos to pull this back in their favor. They got the morality goal. The question is, can they keep that morality up? As it's Gil with the save, sends it to Preston. Demo onto Gil by Yagami, meaning Yagami is deep into that defensive territory. And the demo on the keeper. Goal number 2 for Boise State.
This is what we've been talking about of the disruptive plays the Broncos can make. Preston immediately goes for the keeper, gets him out of the way. Durtho has a clean shot on goal, and now they're only trailing by 1 with plenty of time left, 2 minutes, 13 seconds.
Kickoff goes in favor of Gil. It's going to be popped up by one of the South Florida players, and Durtho will stop it in its tracks right at the midfield stripe. It's going to be pinched back, defensive third of Boise State, where Sapp is. Pops it up towards the net. Preston's going to play backboard defense. Try to send it to Gil. Has to play their own follow-up off of Yagami's shot. Banger now trying to set up a play. Does not get the elevation necessary. Perhaps it was intentional, but the ball's now in South Florida's half the field. They managed to send it from Yagami to Banger towards the net, but Preston will make the save. It's Preston to Durtho to send it across midfield stripe, and it ends up with Sapp. Gil looking for an opportunity to volley this back to a teammate. Instead, it's going to be Preston battling for possession. It pinches back towards mid, and it crosses into the defensive third of South Florida.
Durtho moves it back to center, but no follow-up. Broncos need just 1 more goal here. Ooh, a whip by Gil on that contest. It now heads over to Preston. Gil rotating back on the field, going to take another shot at it. Boehner's still able to win that 50. Broncos once again trying to cross midfield. Preston and Yagami. The ball will be pushed all the way back over to the far corner of South Florida. Preston hanging back in mid is just barely able to get a touch on that contest. The Broncos in a bit of a shaky situation with just 1 minute left.
Gil makes contact, is pushed off by Banger, and just before that, Durtho was pushed off by Sapp as well. It's a 2-on-1 commit. Durtho goes for the backboard, tries to get it to Preston. Preston says, I'll get Yagami. Gil, you got to have the follow-up. It's going to be saved by Banger.
Durtho ready with another dribble, but Sapp just plays it right over him. 1 goal needed to tie it all up. It bounces right in front of the ball, but Gil's in no position to follow it up. Durtho now moves up. It's going to be Preston with a pass over to Gil. Sapp blocks it. Broncos have gotten the side control back, but it's in the final 2 minutes of the game, keeping us on edge for this entire time. Now just 10 seconds looking for a buzzer beater.
Gil fakes out Yagami, sent towards the midfield stripe by defense. Preston plays it into the corner. There's Durtho waiting.
Right
Can we get the shot? It hits the top crossbar. No time left on the clock. Ball is grounded. South Florida put themselves at series point, but there's a but here. If the Broncos win the next game, they too are at series point, and we're going the full distance of the best of 5.
But for the first half of the game, completely shut down the Broncos. There was no clear past the midfield mark for the first half of the game. Quite uncharacteristic. Once the Broncos were able to get a bit of momentum going, then they had control of the ball for the rest of the game, but those first 2 minutes were brutal.
They were. It seemed like something was just a little bit off kilter. Of course, at the end of the day, we're just making speculation as we're going to jump into game number 4 between Boise State and South Florida.
The Broncos, they started off well, but have now found themselves trailing 1-2 in the best of 5. Can they survive? They are counting for this stage right here to not be the final one. For us to go to one more final stadium stage, and maybe the Broncos can pull off a comeback, but South Florida definitely proven to be tough competition. It's quite a contrast from the first game that went 4-0 in favor of the Broncos. And I for sure thought that they were going to open it up, but everything has been tossed aside, and the Broncos don't find themselves in this position too often, not only trailing, but having to win multiple games in Rocket League to bring back a series. See how they do now. Durtho chasing after the ball. Ball's going to be left high up near South Florida's goal. Gil elevates up. Not able to find any sort of shot on goal. Sapp clear it past the midfield. Preston pushes it back off to mid. Yagami answers back. Durtho trying to see how he can take this away. That's a nice push toward Gil, but Preston, I think it took a bad bounce off of him. I was heading right toward the goal.
Sap pops it over towards Yagami. Preston goes to play disruption. Gil will elevate, pop the ball up, but it's not out of the woods just yet. It's still here in the Bronco territory and very close to that goal. It's Preston and Durtho in a 2-on-1. Now it's just Preston.
Oh.
I'm just thankful, and now I'm not. Yagami, in the confusion moment, manages to find the back of the net. That's goal number 1 for South Florida. You can see Sap comes in, that slight disruption. Yagami comes in. Preston sees Yagami and is like, oh no. Tries to elevate, but unfortunately was caught flat-tired. That's goal number 1. Still only 45 seconds in.
This could be a question of how far can the Bulls run up the margin in the first few minutes of this game, because unless Boise State can get a great clear, and this might be the start of it, Preston pushing it all the way back towards South Florida's goal. It will be pushed off to the right corner. They play it past one Bronco. Gil is able to get solid contact on that 50. Preston looking over, Gil demos Boehner, but Yagami has a great dribble. Preston trying his best to stop it. Quick shot on goal. Double commit by the Broncos, but they'll be able to save.
Skill versus Banger. It hits the top crossbar over towards the corner. Preston tries to dig it out of this corner.
Oh, that was scary.
This is the moment where I wish Rocket League had time out. The ball's still here in the defensive third. It's sent to the midfield stripe. Durtho is going to be challenged by Sap. Sap will steal it away. Preston and Gil both have rotated back. Who's going to start applying the pressure here to Sap? There's a lot of times where these players are left alone in the air. The Broncos are hesitant to challenge them, and it's getting scary. Gil finally gets a clear, but it ends up with Sap. Durtho versus Sap, pinched into the air once again. Defensive third for South Florida. Will Preston's elevation work out? It slightly does, because he dunks it down to Gil, but Gil's getting challenged by Yagami. Durtho's there to help out. Yagami sees the situation, pops it up to Banger. Banger will dunk it back down. Preston might be able to cut into the play, but instead Banger crosses into the defensive territory of Boise State once again.
Durtho moving on back down. A shot clear over the Broncos. Didn't even have anyone rotating back. They were fully committed to that clear. Gil goes chasing after the ball, and Preston also, all three of them were driving forward. That 50 took the Broncos completely off guard.
Kickoff goes in favor of Gil, and we have a demo onto Yagami. Shot on goal, not even accredited by the system. Preston will elevate, sends it to the back wall. There's Sap waiting, dunks it down, but Durtho has the follow-up. It's too high and hits the corner. Another shot on goal from Gil. It's going to be stolen away. Banger carries it across midfield stripe. Gil is going to be demoed as well in the process. Durtho looking for an opportunity to cut through this defense, gets it across mid, sends it to Gil. It's Gil to Durtho. Durtho tries to go for that disruption, but the ball is saved. Shot on goal again.
Are you kidding me?
Again.
Yagami! He's the player we've been calling out time and time again, and he gets another shot toward the goal as if he wants to put an exclamation mark at the end of my sentence. He has been a constant problem for the Broncos, and that's 2 goals in a row now that the Broncos have been driving forward and not having anyone rotating back for one of those possible counterattacks by the Bulls.
2 minutes is still plenty of time to find 3 goals for Boise State, as we have 2 challenge for possession. Durtho goes and finally steals that ball away from Yagami, and will demo Banger in the process. Brings it across midfield stripe, leaves it for Gil. Gil has Durtho, who's going to play the disruption. Shot on goal from Gil is going to be saved by Banger. Banger now crossing midfield. Preston cuts in, manages to slow down the ball. It's pitched up towards the ceiling, dunks back down in the defensive third of South Florida. For Boise State, the whole field screen, it confuses me sometimes. Yagami in the air stops that ball from going into South Florida's half of the field. Off the wall, it's to Gil, but it's once again pushed back into goal-scoring territory for South Florida.
We are not a university in any position to complain about blending into the field color. I'll just say that right now.
That's true.
Meanwhile, Durtho trying to find some sort of clear. Sap around the corner, unable to find the centering. Durtho trying to contest, but he is low on boost, and boost very consistent for South Florida. Boise State having to move back to fill up, and a goal possibly left open. Durtho will be there right in time. Now this shot possibly coming from Yagami, unable to spike it down. Now the Broncos just have 1 minute to make up 3 goals.
It's Sap with another shot. Gil will make the save. Durtho will carry it the rest away across mid. Yagami will thwart that attempt. Preston goes for the challenge. Yagami abandons the play elevation from Sap at the midfield stripe. Gil will follow up there after, get it up over Sap. A banger was waiting in that corner as well. Volleys it back over into the defensive territory for Boise State. Emiliano makes it in time. Durtho with the save, can't carry it forward. It's Preston to carry it the rest of the way. Across midfield in the air, challenged by Yagami, fakes out Yagami. The follow-up touch just wasn't quite right. Can Gil or Preston set this up again? It is, it's Durtho, but there's the follow-up from Yagami to prevent the goal-scoring opportunity.
And now just 10 seconds left. It's mostly a formality to call it out. Major props to South Florida. The Broncos came out of the gate screaming, fresh off a 4-0 win, got the first game, but South Florida hung in there, was cool, calm, and collected till the very end, and they take the game away from the Broncos in Game 4. And that was quite the comeback, I must say, especially in games 3 and 4. That was kind of the peak of the Bulls. They just really corralled the Broncos into their own half of the field and did not allow too many shots past mid. Not so much in game 4. There was a lot more clears from the Broncos in game 4, but they just held the field down like an iron cage in game 3.
You can't win every game.
Nope.
You're always bound to lose. It's just a fact of life. It's a fact of playing in a competitive esport or sport in general. With that being said, we still have more Rocket League.
We do. We'll see if the Broncos can dust themselves off and face another NACE match, end the night on a positive note. We'll take a short break and be back with more Rocket League. Don't go away.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Once there was a traveler whose feet never left the ground. With only his mind as his map and his senses his compass, he raced into the great unknown. Armed only with the speed of legend. His trails he blazed, his rivals he played. Every sprint a blur. Every turn trusting his allies. In silence he raged and waged with quickening, sickening speed. His name a chant filling arenas. Because some heroes leave footprints, others an afterburn. Without conflict, there is no resolution. Without verses, there is no victory.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
High snap in the corner. Durtho is attempting to set something up again. Does manage to fake out two, and Gil comes in, finds the chink in the armor. That
To make contact with the ball. In the corner, Durtho will pass back to Preston. Quick shot on goal, up the crossbar. That is the hammer slamming down into the
pass two. Double commit. Will Gil make the rotation in time? Barely gets contact and tries to send it to Durtho. Grab that mega boost. Preston cuts in.
1 minute, and Durtho trying to make something happen, but it gets blocked by Yagami in mid-air. Preston passes to Gil. Shot on goal. They find it.
Can they keep that morality up as it's Gil with the save, sends it to Preston. Demo onto Gil by Yagami, meaning Yagami is deep into that defensive
Durtho,
territory.
that's
And
what
the
I
demo
wanna
on the
see.
keeper.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We are 2 games through our Rocket League lineup for tonight. The Broncos came out to a smashing start in the first game, getting a complete sweep against Cal Berkeley. And then, much like Icarus in the sky, fell back down to earth against University of South Florida, losing that match 1-3. And there's just one more match left to determine the possible ending mood of the night. Boise State versus Michigan State. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I'm joined by Artemis Rain, calling all of the action. So what do you think was kind of the main thing that fell apart in that last match, and how can the Broncos fix it going into this match against Michigan State?
Guys, don't hate me, but I think you started to play scared. I say that because, like I mentioned in game 1, there was times where the Broncos would be in the air, you'd instantly see a green car coming after them. Very little moments where there was breathing period in the aerial space.
Yep.
But when I saw a green car with ball possession in the air, I did not see a blue car going for that challenge. And that playing too patiently means you're playing reactively at a certain point.
It's much like it's something you'll hear time and time again, whether you're playing Rocket League, or I'm sure you've heard this while you've been coaching in Overwatch, or even me when I was playing the card game Hearthstone. One piece of advice between all of those games, completely different from each other, but it's play proactively, not reactively.
Yes, if you're being caught on the back foot, it means you're using your backup plan. And that's never good out the gate. I get it. Best plans have backup plans, but if you're using a backup plan, that means you didn't even execute your first plan to begin with.
And talking about some keys to the game or tips that the Broncos can have to possibly get a win against Michigan State, we've got Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, and that's going to be to set your play style, understand your rotations, play to follow up, and of course employ those sweaty comms. Brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And I think that sweaty comms thing is also probably that came in clutch as well, because we started to see a lot more double commits being brought out by the Broncos. Now, of course, we can't say for sure whether that was a result of comms or not, but it's stuff that crops up that we don't normally see the Broncos commit. In fact, there were also a few whiffs there. I found myself thinking multiple times, they're not normally supposed to miss those. So
it does happen. Everyone has off games, but it's not as though South Florida was without fault either. They did plenty of double commits as well. It's just, again, when you start getting scared, you start getting worried. It ends up becoming, a game of where we create a little bit more mistakes than we should. It's all about taking a quick breath, but we mentioned him. It's the gentleman that always sits on the far left. It's Gil. So Gil is a staple here.
He is, and we'll taking a look at a few highlight plays that we have for him as we wait for the game for Michigan State to start.
It's the Gil package.
Also, one thing I also have to mention is much like South Florida, Michigan State is also a team whose color is green. So we were talking a little bit about the added advantage of the turf. You kind of blend into it. Then, like I say, the Broncos were in no position to judge over that.
No, we really aren't. But you can see these goals that we did manage to score during that first NACE series. Yes, this was the second series of the game day, so keep that in mind. And it's also really toasty in here. So we had a successful Series 1. Series 2, not so much in our favor. It's a little bit warm. Hopefully these guys stood up. I know for a fact Gil stood up because I crossed paths with him at the hallway. Hopefully game Series 3 goes back in their favor.
Well, that's kind of sometimes the best thing you can do is stand up and walk around and get a drink to just reset everything, because you got to truly reset your mentals. It doesn't matter what happened last game or the game before that. All that matters is the game you're playing right now. And Boise State is going to be ready to go up against Michigan State in this NACE Star League fight. And you know what? Something that occurred to me. I brought this up a little bit earlier in this broadcast, but I was saying in how Boise State, their Valorant team, has similar matches against USF later on in the week, and we were saying that the Rocket League team might be setting a standard. Well, I think now it might be a possibility of revenge in terms of Valorant on Wednesday, which you should tune in for.
Yes. get revenge for your sibling team. That is something that I always encourage. Not that I encourage sibling rivalries in the slightest, but, you know, if your younger sibling or your sibling in general is getting picked on, you gotta post up, show up.
Talking about rivalries, also, we've got some great regional rivalries coming up later this week in the Mountain West Division. Boise State's going to be going up against UNLV, New Mexico, and University of Nevada. So a lot of those great regional rivalries, if you're familiar with the Mountain West scene, cannot wait to see what happens as we go on into this game, though. However, the game at hand is Michigan State versus Boise State. We'll see how these teams do as Preston moves in with possession of the ball, is going to get blocked by Knock. We also got Mar and Rocket Man ready to play for the Spartans.
Gill in the air has ball possession stolen away by Mar. Sent to midfield stripe. Nook will push it against the wall, send it to Rocket Man, who's going to attempt to take a shot, but Preston's waiting on that backboard. Brings the ball down, challenged immediately. It's pitched towards the wall. Durtho will be there to follow up. Gets the flip reset. Unfortunately, the ball had way too much power behind it. Still in defensive third for Boise State. A minute into the game, finally crossing into defensive territory for Michigan State.
Gill leaving it up in the air for Preston, plays right over Mar. Hey, we also got player photos for Michigan State as well. Always enjoy that. Thank you, Michigan State, for cooperating on that. You guys have some sick jackets, by the way. But more than jackets, Durtho was just going to say, we've got goals.
Wait. Michigan's kind of chilly, though, isn't it? So I understand why, like, perhaps their jerseys are, legitimately they have hoodies. It would make complete sense, and actually that's a very smart play. It gets cold here, too, and our hoodies don't have our names on them.
Meanwhile, next kickoff, Boise State starting things off right with a 1-goal lead. This is some good positioning, actually. With the others, they have to fill up on boost first before they go in for the play. Now Preston off the wall, sending it over to Gill. A 1-2 shot, it connects. The Broncos up 2-0.
See, we have player cams, and I appreciate that. These guys are so locked in that we very rarely ever see much emotional reactions from them.
The Valorant team, yes.
Yes.
Overwatch every now and then, but Rocket League, maybe if it's an overtime. If it's an overtime and it's to win the thing, then we'll see some relief. But most of the time, they are stone-faced, always focusing.
It's light work, no reactions time up there.
Oh, Knock had a possible shot on goal, but didn't manage to find it.
Gill did slow down, allowed Durtho to swoop the ball around one. Mar, who is well ahead of Durtho, does make the save. Preston steals it away, tries to battle it out away from Nook. Gill will come in to help out. Preston rotating to try and find an opportunity to cut back into play. Instead, goes to midfield stripe into defensive positioning. Durtho plays it off that back wall very low. Gill will come in, flick it, and it doesn't quite take the angle that is wanted. Thankfully, it's still dwindling near midfield. Mar takes the shot. It's too high, too slow. Preston brings it forward, gets it past Nook, but loses the ball in the process. 50-50 pinch favoring the Spartans.
It looked like it could have been a shot, but there was a whip from the Spartans, leaving the Broncos still at a 2-0 lead. Now Knock with a dribble, finds a flip reset, continues to move forward. Gill is going to be just enough disruption. Mark tries to go in for the follow-up, misses, and Rocket Man isn't even going to be able to make contact with it by Durtho. Huge explosion and demonstrated back and forth in mid. Durtho trying to redirect it down into the goal. Double commit by Michigan State as they are finding themselves pressed up into their own goal, desperately looking for a clear. Preston pass back down to the ground, but it's not to any Bronco. Instead, it's Tamar who moves past the Broncos, dribbling it up, and Gill will be the last line of defense to find the save.
Ball is sailing up above the net. Preston gets demoed. Gill's trying to play it around two players. Durtho attempts to help out. Ball's back in the defensive third, buried in this corner. Who's going to be able to dig this one out? It's going to be Durtho to pop it up into the air. Unfortunately, has the ball stolen away by Rocket Man. Preston will push it once again back towards that midfield stripe, but it's Mar waiting for it with open arms, sends it back towards the net. Gill waits patiently, makes the first save, but can't make the second. That's goal number 1 for Michigan State.
Well, and probably a good reason why it looked like he wasn't moving anywhere fast was right there. He runs out of boost, and he can't make a final adjustment to save. Runs out of that crucial resource at the worst possible moment. Now it's just a 1-goal game.
90 seconds remaining on the clock. A double commit from the Broncos might have been intentional to try and fake out the defense, as there was a double commit from the Spartans as well. It's Mar at midfield. It's Mar in the shadow realm. Durtho leaves the ball for Preston in the corner. Preston has very little pressure, carries across midfield stripe, gets a few nose touches, pops it to Durtho. Durtho goes for the shot. Knock will play it against the backboard, brings it forward, gets it over one. Gill will follow up and steal it right back, trying to give it to Preston. Uses Preston to ricochet it to Durtho. Durtho off the backboard, Preston from the midfield. Durtho dodges out of the way, but one of the defenders ducked in and manages to make the save. 1 minute remaining, 1 goal lead currently for Boise State. It's an elevation from Preston to make another save off of Michigan State's shot.
Preston able to play around Knock, but not Mar. Durtho with one touch back to mid. Preston redirect. We'll leave it for Gill. More ground gained into the corner. Can they center it? Nice quick shot by Preston, but Gill too far back on the field to follow up on it. Now he moves up to contest. Preston stopping mid. Back to Durtho. Shot wide off to the left. Preston quick shot and follow up. Doesn't find it.
Gill from the mid cannot stop this ball before it crosses into that defensive third. Just could not get the speed just right. We're now tied, and my brain does not remember the time on the clock. But we could see overtime here.
Yeah, I think it was a little over a minute.
A little over?
A little over. Oh, no.
We are a little over, Jacob.
Yeah, you know, I'm the one that's a little over the hill, basically, with that kind of memory. All right. No, it's much under a minute is what I meant to say.
I'll take that. There's no...
My goodness,
Okay.
Michigan State.
If Michigan State can do it, the Broncos can do it too.
You're going to have quite a good kickoff, but again, some awkward positioning by Gill. He isn't in a position where he can drive into the ball, and it just goes flying right over him. 7 seconds left. Gill, Knock. That's a great position to gain control off of the kickoff. Need one final goal as well. Broncos have to keep it up in the air. But man, all of a sudden, just the final minute, Michigan State comes alive and immediately just resets the game entirely. And the Broncos were off to such a good start. They got back-to-back. We're up to a 2-0 lead as we're seeing some of the replays right here.
It was a 1-goal differential, though, so it's a very close game, not leaning really heavily in any one team's favor. It was just a moment where there was a lack of pressure on one of the flies on the wall, and yes, that's what I refer to a lot of people who like to play on that wall. Emiliano does it too. They were not getting pressured, and when someone is open, there's a problem. So hopefully it's fixed. It was a low-scoring game. That's good Rocket League, but you know we've got 5 more minutes to figure it out. Otherwise, Michigan State puts themselves at serious point.
But it's kind of following a general pattern that we saw last game too, is that the other team just kind of gets explosive. I mean, it's the Broncos are starting off and are kind of consistent all the way through, but then the other team just is on point and puts shots onto the goal before the Broncos can even respond.
There is a way that you operate in a different sport, cross country, is you keep the same pace, you keep it steady, but then during that last quarter mile, you gun it. You put every last ounce of energy you have into it. And it seems like that is what these teams are starting to do. Those last 45, 30 seconds, they become absolutely explosive, as Jacob mentioned. The question is, how do you combat that? How do you adapt to it? Well, you had about a minute and some change, if you're Boise State, to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. Maybe it is metering the aggression a little bit more, playing for that control of your energy, and then going for the explosion plays when possible.
Knox sets one up into the air. Durtho unable to get more than one touch on a quick shot by Gill onto the goal. It bounces right into Mar for the save. Now Mar will take Michigan State's Spartans' first offensive play. Pretty easily blocked by Durtho. The Broncos gain back their side control.
Knock in the corner, challenged by Preston. Manages to break through, but Durtho will elevate. Sends it up and over. It's in the corner. Mar plays it forward in front of their own net. A little bit risky, but works out for now. Preston tries to go for the kill shot, but can't find it. Knock at mid, makes contact. Gill should be able to make the save. Is successful. Is not even going to have Knock in the way. Rocket Man now in the corner looking to set something up. Has 2 teammates. It's Mar at the mid who does a 180. Sends it back towards the net. Elevation from Durtho to make the save. Rocket Man tried to also make contact, but failed. Opportunity for Mar to find another goal-scoring opportunity, but we have the backboard defense and Crossing coming in clutch once again to make a save. Will we be able to find another one? And that is Durtho coming in from above, finding another save, bringing it to midfield stripe. But there's just shot on goal after shot on goal. The pressure is alive currently for Michigan. Will the Broncos be able to break through this defensive wall that is at the midfield stripe?
Around the corner, Mar not able. Durtho kind of takes it away from him, but that's still a lot of ground gain for Michigan State, and they get a demo onto Gill as well. Rocketman setting up for Knock, almost drives it in. Rocketman for the follow-up off the front post. Mar comes in, and Michigan State is off to the lead again.
It was pinched off of Durtho, and then Rocketman came in, and Mar just the commitment is very heavy for Michigan. I'm not saying it's bad, nor is it like wrong to do this, but
the way it is.
It can be easily punished. We just need to find the clean clears with a purpose, and that's something we're currently struggling with. This ball has been ricocheting and boxed into this half of the field for roughly 2 minutes now. The Broncos just need to get a breakaway like Gill is presenting right now, but Knock is there. Someone needs to start applying the pressure, and there it finally is. That's goal number 1 for Boise State. We're equalized, about 3 minutes on the clock, and I can confidently say that this time.
Yeah, not really expecting Preston to take a mid-air shot, and Preston spikes it down at the last moment, catches him off guard. Broncos have reset this game. Still more than halfway to go. 3 minutes left, a little over 3 minutes. Quick shot on goal, almost playing it off the angles, but it's still too shallow of an angle to really get across that goal line. Preston looking who he wants to give it to. Might be Durtho off in the far corner. Broncos don't have a lot of boost to work with, however. That's as far as Durtho can take it. So Preston will come in. Mar and Rocketman will be there for the save. Now the Broncos moving up the field. Press, Gill, and Preston. Broncos just don't have that much to work with. I don't know how much longer they'll maintain possession of the ball with such low boost.
Well, it's Knock who loses possession as well, but has Rocket, who's just off angle right behind. It's goal number 2 for Michigan State. We still have plenty of time on the clock.
And it was also, Michigan State is not only on their own boost, but the midfield boost was just not available to the Broncos. And right before that, Durtho had to rotate clear on back, way back to the Broncos territory to fill up on boost. And it left Michigan State with an opening.
I'm saying we're getting boost starved, because if we're getting boost starved, Durtho don't need the boost when he comes off a kickoff to find the equalizer.
Well, when you're off the kickoff and you're in possession, he fills up on the 100, and that's what the Broncos need to make their plays. So that could very well be the strategy Michigan State is using to try to bring the Broncos down a peg.
Next kickoff, it's going to be Gill and Durtho. Durtho to skirt it around Rocketman. Everyone else charged forward, but Knock is back, and Knock will knock it into the air, send it into the corner. Gill goes for the challenge, can't make it there in time. Sees the corner boost, steals it away, shot on goal, double commit. Will someone be able to come back in time? Unfortunately, they will not. It's a reset play from Durtho. It ricochets off the ceiling. Mar sees the open goal opportunity, takes a shot. It's saved by Preston. Preston crossing midfield stripe. There's an open goal. Will Rocketman make it in time? But Crossy is there. There's a demo. Gill tries to take the secondary shot, is going to be stopped as well. Ball in the defensive third for Boise State. They have a moment to take a touch, but it's immediately taken away by Mar. But Preston gives it to Durtho. Durtho off the back wall. The follow-up touch goes wide. Can Gill set it back up? Just maybe.
Nice. Oh, Preston tries to get a shot on it, but Mar wins the 50. Preston, another shot on the goal, double commit once again from Michigan State on the save. Follow-up by Durtho trying to set it up. Shot is slow, however, and Mar gets a clear save on it. Boise State will move in and try again. Goes flying past Mar. Durtho up the wall. Knock moving. That's a nice 50 by Preston. Shot placed by Durtho. Off the backboard, though. Still tied to a piece with a minute left.
Knock. I keep saying you're Nook like Tom Nook. I apologize. Ball's at midfield stripe. Gill to the corner where Durtho is at. It's pinched up towards the ceiling. Preston comes in, but Knock is there again. Durtho with the pinch off the backboard, and he shot between two to find the Broncos the lead they need. There's still 35 seconds on the clock. We're not out of hot water just yet.
that's also Gill. Great little bit of disruption onto Michigan State to clear out the goal. Broncos now go 1 up, but we've seen how quickly a lead can evaporate from them. We'll see if they can keep hold of it. We have 30 seconds left.
Ball is pitched in the air. It's Mar once again, but Gill reads it. It's Knock putting on the pressure. Gill to... I think that was an intended pass, but unfortunately something occurred. It didn't go in their favor. We've got Gill still going, charging after this ball. It drops down. Ball is in the air. There's 9 seconds remaining. At this point, if the Broncos can just play keep away.
There you go.
5 seconds of keep away. That's all you need. Get this ball on the ground, take it away from the Spartans, say no more,
there we
and
go.
we equalize the series.
That's a spike I was looking for right there. There is kind of an unofficial rule between, besides if there was a rule 2 instead of rule 1, rule 2 is, you keep the ball as long as the air as you can in the air as the clock hits 0. This was not the time for that. This was not the time for that. The Broncos saw it. They'll take the win in Game 2 and reset the match at 1 apiece.
I think that rule only applies when there's an understanding that the game has a clear victor.
Okay.
Because if you're doing that just for funsies and the game is a 1-goal decider, you could send us into overtime. And that is a This Is Rocket League moment. And trust me, I would love to see that in a 3-2 game. However, way too much for my heart to handle right now.
So we'll move on into Game 3. The Broncos have brought this back to 1 apiece against the Spartans. But Michigan State holding the Broncos to no more than a 1-goal lead. These have been close games, and I have a feeling that for the rest of the match will very much be the same story as the Spartans go up against the Broncos.
One of these teams is going to put themselves at series point, as Jacob mentioned. I didn't ask you to predict how many games we were going to go, though. So I'm going to do it now that we're 1 game in for both teams.
Yeah.
So how many games do you think we have?
I'm going to be optimistic and say 4.
4? Okay.
I'm not going to say who wins, but I'm going to
Just gonna say 4.
It's going to be 4.
All right. That's...
Watch me be wrong yet again.
I'm not banking on... I'm not trying to say you're going to be wrong. I like the diplomatic approach you took in this one, trying to, hedge your bet in both directions.
Here we go. Durtho, quick drive right off the first kickoff. Preston moves in for a possible follow-up. Doesn't find the goal. Now Mar moving back upfield toward mid. Gill pinches it off the wall. Back over toward Durtho. Takes a shot. It's a bit too far to the left. Gill follow-up. Tag team dynamic duo. Early lead for the Broncos.
I guess our skin's kind of broke because Gill decided, nah, I'm done. I need to stand out more. He's wearing the golden skin.
There's always one of those in the team.
And for once it's Gill, which is quite strange. But as we go into kickoff, Preston unfortunately does not win it. And Gill's going to chase it back into the corner. Play it into the air. Looks as though it's going to need some help from a teammate as it gets pinched by Knock into the air once again.
Ooh.
Double commit on the save. Rocket Man on the ground. Unfortunately whiffs on the contact, but fortunately for the Broncos makes that whiffed. It's in the defensive third for Michigan State. It's Durtho. There's Gill. There's Preston. They're all there. They just need to connect something and make a play happen. It's Gill in the air. Leaves it for Preston. And somehow, I think Knock might have had a slight touch on this ball, but nonetheless, that's a score for the Broncos.
It would have gone in anyway. We've seen the crossbar be such a key player, but even whether it bounced off a knock or not, it would have gone in. So nothing much you can attribute to him there.
Next kickoff goes to Gill. Little 4-car pileup in the midfield leaves Mar open to try and bring this in the defensive third, and Knock disrupts Durtho, so Durtho cannot make contact with the ball. Durtho finally comes in, leaves it for Gill to send it to Preston. Preston in the corner, there's Knock, and there's Rocket Man. And we also have Gill get demoed, so it's a reset for Boise State, but Durtho is not giving up on the opportunity to set something up while Gill comes off respawn. There's Gill in the corner. Can Gill play it around Mar? Mar loses possession, and Preston comes in. The Dole slowing down pace of the game. Preston came in like a shooting star and said, no, that's my goal.
All of a sudden, the Broncos have brought things back into control in Game 3, setting themselves up for a possible match point next round, but we've been in this position before, this 3-goal lead. Michigan State, just talked to them about what happened in Game 1. They have something to say about that.
Knock in the air, looking to try and find at least the first goal while they're sitting on this current goose egg. It's never fun for anybody, but Preston says, I'm going to try and make this lead a little bit larger. Obviously, 3 wasn't enough. So we have Knock with possession in their own defensive third, getting challenged by Dirtho, pops it up to their teammate Mar. It's Preston and Dirtho. Preston left with possession, challenged by Rocket Man, gets it around Rocket Man, can't get it around Knock, sends it to Dirtho. Dirtho off the wall, manages to lose one of the defenders, but unfortunately loses possession in the moment. Mar crossing in front of the net, Rocket Man to carry it across midfield stripe. Preston goes for the challenge, it's pinched down towards the ground. Dirtho pops it up, brings it into the air, gets the flip reset. Can we get it past the defender? We can, but then Rocket Man comes flying in from outer space to make the save.
Closing in on the halfway mark. Preston moves in, shot on goal, saved by Mar.
Come on, there's a
Dirtho
follow-up.
there for a follow-up. There is. You called it, Nerdy, and indeed there was.
You could see it. The moment was there. Like, Knock was busy with Preston, and Dirtho was at the mid, said, okay, I got this. Okay, this is a commanding lead this time.
Yes, I was about to say, this is the largest lead we have seen so far tonight.
In the words of a game studio, it's a quadruple A.
It's quadruple A lead, but, you know, you have big claims, and if there's anything to judge on how the current quadruple A release is going, maybe that's not the best omen for the Broncos. You know what? A quintuple A release is probably more like it. See, that's...
Look, we don't come in promising 16 times the graphics, 100 times larger landscape to work with. We just come in promising some goals to put us in the lead.
Setting those realistic expectations always tends to work out better for you in the end. Oh, meanwhile, Gill taking a shot. Oh, that's a nice little bit of disruption by Michigan State, but I think the Broncos are going to try to get another shot on goal here. As soon as I say that, a good clear comes through by the Spartans. Putting the Broncos on defense, a double commit by the Broncos.
Oh.
And Mar goes whiffing on it. Rocket Man has to move back.
Oh, there's Gill. There's Gill looking for the opportunity. There's a double commit, and Preston is just left free to pop the ball up. Gill is getting pressured by Rocket Man, and Mar comes in and gets it up and over Gill. That is goal number 1 for Michigan State.
They promised 16 times the detail. Look where it leads you.
Look, technically speaking, we're at least at 5 times the detail right now.
That is true. We have 5 times the amount of goals that Michigan State has. And we got 2 minutes left on the timer. That's about 2 minutes to make up 4 goals. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Knock looking to try to take it up the field. Disrupted by Gill. Preston plays it past Mar. Looking to put Boise State back into an even bigger lead. Dirtho loses the dribble. Knock and Gill in a 50.
Oh!
Right into the backboard, but too high for a follow-up. Rocket Man sets it up for Mar. Runs right into him, but Mar doesn't have too much boost to work with. Enough that he can get a solid shot back toward the Broncos' goal. Preston will have his clear blocked by Knock. Gill, that's a nice play off the wall toward Preston. Give the Broncos a bit of time to go charging back.
Preston is getting bodied out of the play by by Knock. It's going to be Dirtho to elevate, play it off the back wall. Where's the follow-up? Okay, that one was really difficult and very flat to the goal, I understand. And there was a lot of vehicles in the pathway of trying to get out, traffic jam, so to speak, as Gill's dying down with the tempo of this ball in the corner. Mar attempts to give it to a teammate and says it's going to be Dirtho because the ball's left alone for too long. Said, I'll come to you. I will care for you. This ball's popped up in the corner. Attempted clear. Gill gets demoed by Rocket Man, but it doesn't matter. There's a shot on net, and will it be converted into a goal? Unfortunately, it does matter because it won't. Gill comes in off respawn. Ball crossing midfield stripe. It's Dirtho to Preston. Preston sees Gill, but does Preston have the opportunity to make something happen here? Gets the double flip reset and loses possession.
Shot. Oh, look at Knock right there. Unexpected goal. Dirtho got a solid contact on that. Probably thought that he was good to go, and then nice read by Knock.
That's a difficult backup to make for any Rocket League player. It's throwing everything in reverse. 12 seconds, though. Let's not... We should be okay. Right? I'm looking for emotional support right now, Jacob.
No, I think you're fine. Okay. I think we're fine here. 3 seconds left. Even a goal was scored. It wouldn't make a difference. Broncos will win Game 3 and move on to the match point. They just got to ground it, which in this case, since the game is already decided, I think they will go for the gentleman's agreement of keeping it up in the air. One game left. If my predictions are anything to judge by, this is where I was calling it.
This is true.
Look at the total shots on goal as well. 75% in favor of the Broncos. You look at the locations of all of that, they were just bodying Michigan State right up in their own goal.
It looks like Michigan State actually, what is that, 2 shots on goal total? And I think
two goals. So 3 shots on goal overall, and the 2 goals. And one of them was scored from midfield, you can see as well.
Look, those just happen.
Yep.
The odds of them actually working out, not always great. We got one from midfield in the first game. They got one from midfield in this game. So we go into basically the decider.
Well, the Broncos have tasted victory. They have endured defeat. But there's one game left to decide. The final chapter of the night. Will the Broncos end on a positive or negative note as they go up against the Michigan State Spartans? We are in Game 4 with the Broncos at match point. Who will take home the gold? We head down to the field as the Broncos are ready to get in on the first kickoff.
And I just need to clarify, yes, Jacob said that with such integrity and belief that this is the final game. Yes, it is a best of 5, but I'm hedging my bet with Jacob. This is it. This is it.
I'm going all in. All the chips are down.
All the marbles.
All the chips, all the marbles, all whatever currency you use for the game you play. It is all being wagered here on this game. The first kickoff has started with Marr trying to gain some possession. Durtho will push it back up toward Michigan State's territory. Around the corner they go, and Knock shot back up toward Bronco territory. Preston will deflect it just a little. Gill elevates up, wins the 50, and is able to gain a good amount of ground back up against the Spartans.
Ball is elevated up over Durtho, but thankfully...
If there's anything that Michigan State is really good at, it's these kind of goals where no one else is expecting it. And Durtho could only watch as he came down down into the ground. Just saw the ball being pushed into his own goal.
I just finally realized that one of the Michigan players has a goal-scoring animation that is a bunch of presents, and their car looks like it's a present wrapped. I like the theme. But the theme right now is Broncos trying to get 1 goal to equalize. As Durtho will find Marwa.
It's kind of been consistent that the Broncos haven't been really bringing out too much theming, whereas the other team has been. We've seen battle buses, watermelons, and now presents.
Look, fashion is not their strong suit.
But
Rocket League tends to
scoring
be.
goals is Preston spots it right there.
Like I said, fashion, not their strong suit. Rocket League, it is.
I do like the disruption of bumping Durtho out of the way, but you had a kind of an awkward double commit near the goal in which Boise State capitalized on.
We actually got a smile out of them in the player camera. Fabulous. Change of pace as Knock once again knocks the ball into the back corner.
Maybe hot here in the studio, but heck has apparently frozen over, and we've gotten an actual smile out of the Broncos.
Well, it's a 2-on-2 in the corner. Oh, make that a 2-on-1, but the ball is sailing into the defensive third. Once again, in one of these corners, Gill goes for the challenge, drops the ball down. If there could be a follow-up. Unfortunately, we were applying pressure everywhere else on the field. It makes sense. But we have a shot from mid where Knock was not getting pressured because we had someone in the shadow realm. That's goal number 2 for Michigan.
Another well-timed demo. Durtho was right there, but kind of misreads it. He kind of seems like he thought it was open for him to go for the corner boost, but then kind of realizes halfway through. Pushes up too far. That's a nice kickoff win by Gill. Amount of territory gain for the Broncos. They need to find their equalizer.
Come on, start knocking Knock around. That was way too many free touches. Durtho elevate, gets 1 touch. Marr comes in and steals it. Preston, I don't really know how that math to work out with Preston getting demoed because I believe Marr should have. But you know what? Rocket Man gets exploded either way, and we have the ball rolling into the defensive third for Michigan.
Off into the corner. Gill looking to center. Preston and Durtho waiting. Durtho moves back. Starts his dribble. Flip reset. Keeps it going past 1. Knock will be right there. Preston trying to play off the wall. Rocket Man moving on back. And a shot on goal. It's not followed up by Marr. This is a good opening by the Broncos. Trying to put it on there off the crossbar. Knock pushes it off to the corner.
Rocket Man sends it to mid, who sends it to and it's sent to Knock. Knock with the shot, taken away by Durtho. Durtho in the air gets it past Mar, but fortunately there was enough contact to disrupt the play. Preston tries to go for the Doomsday, but can't find it. Double elevation 50-50 favors Durtho. Can Durtho grab it off the ground? Instead, it's Gil to come in. It hits the corner post, the side post, unfortunately, and it's a reset play. Preston and Durtho off the wall. Slight touch sends it to Gil, but it's taken away again by Knock.
Setting it up, quick shot by Preston. No, off the back post.
Just
that
demo
was
one
so
of them.
close.
Just demo one of them. I've seen you do it. There's accolades on both sides. Just demo one of them. I'm begging you. There's two just stalemating in front of you. This is making my blood pressure go up too high, and I'm getting too old.
I'll take the reins for the next minute as you take a few deep breaths. Meanwhile, Knock trying to set up for Rocket Man, and I don't think your blood pressure is going to get any better with that goal.
Ooh. Namaste. I should have been staying in bed today, is what it's saying to me, but I digress. There's still time on the clock, and it's not 19 seconds. So, we can bring this back.
I appreciate that's a burn that I will gladly take. And not a goal that the Broncos are going to gladly take as Rocket Man gets a quick one right off the test.
All right, Jacob.
Great cheat.
I think it's time you and I eat some crows here. We're going to a game 5.
Yeah, we just might. I mean, it's, well, they need to make up 3 goals, and they have 1:43 left. That is over the 30 seconds per goal.
Let Michigan tire themselves out at this point.
Before I have my serving of Pro, let me have a healthy serving of Coke right now. See if the Broncos, or maybe it's not. Oh, Gil was trying to push it down into the goal, doesn't find it.
Ooh, Preston.
No, this could be it. Preston trying to make it happen, but Rocket Man elevates up, gets a nice clean save on it.
It's Rocket Man with possession, and it's sends to Nook. It's pinched up to Mar. Mar will elevate. Is that an intentional whiff? I'm going to say yes, but it's not going to work out in your favor. We're ticking down to what will be the final minute here of game number 4. Preston has possession. Can Preston get a clean breakaway? Plays off the wall to Gil. There is Mar, though. And Knock
Durtho
gets demoed. There's a shot on goal from Durtho. The ball's in the air. There's another demo. Gil, can you... Oh, the one player left standing. Are you kidding me?
What a defensive showing by Michigan State, keeping themselves at a 3-goal lead. Pinch off of 2 players there by Boise. Not going to find a goal. They do gain a bit of ground back, but it looks like this game could be very well decided.
Let them tire themselves out. Just let them tire themselves out.
30 seconds left. Durtho unable to find a good redirect. He'll go flying past it. Shot placed up, left corner, Knock there with the save. A lot of saves from Michigan State this game. Boise State leading in the overall shots on goal, but the defense has been ironclad for the Spartans. And with just 4 seconds left, one more goal to at least make it a 2-goal game, but there isn't a possibility at all that this game will go the other way.
Couldn't have done that like 20 seconds ago.
I wouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth too much here.
Fine, I won't. We're going to a game 5. We were very wrong in our prediction.
It has been, I have kept all of the casino's lights on at full blast tonight, okay? I am their greatest customer right now because everything that I have thrown at the table has gone completely by the wayside.
Look, and then I decide to side with you, and it just goes haywire. If we're both agreeing on it, odds are we're both wrong.
It's most likely, but
It only ever works.
The one thing that I hope more than anything else, because it doesn't matter, my personal petty pride doesn't matter. What matters at the end is if the Broncos can pull off the victory in Game 5. It is going as long as it possibly can, and against the Michigan State Spartans. Can the Broncos actually get the win and end the NACE Star League night off with a positive note?
I think yes. I have faith.
Oh, you are after everything that's gone wrong in the prediction market.
Look at it this way. I started saying, just demo one of them. Just do it. And all of a sudden there was a demo and it worked. I'm not saying they can hear me, because I know for a fact they can't hear me at all up there. However, I'm going to make believe that I gave some good juju in that moment. And someone just said, you know what? I'm taking one of them out with me.
Yep. We can only hope as we head back on down into the stadium. Broncos, Spartans, 2 apiece, best of 5. Everything is going to be decided in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10, the margin for the goal-scoring opportunities that are presented as we go into kickoff, and you look like it's Preston to somehow manage to win it out and take out Knock. But there is Mar, and Mar ends up dropping the ball down. It dropped to Gil, who sends it to Durtho, and they decide to demo Knock, but Mar is left unattended and says, okay, I am a child at the mall, and I'm going to the toy store.
Off into the corner, all this... Broncos trying to find a way to clear out. Durtho gets demoed. Rocket Man will pass it off to Mar. Shot back into the corner. There really hasn't been too much contest on Michigan State's passes so far. Boise State's going to try to play their own, but Mar reads it, pushes it back to mid.
We're in the corner once again. It's Knock looking to maintain possession. Preston will steal it, plays it off the back wall. Is there follow-up in time? Rocket Man takes many touches, and we have a whiff on contact trying to go up and over. Instead does an alley-oop. So we have a demo once again onto Knock. It seems like the Broncos are saying if the missing piece is one of us, well, then we're going to take one of you down too. So we have a clear come out from Knock. It goes above Durtho. Follow-up shot from Rocket Man. They can't rotate in the second follow-up position in time. That's goal for Michigan.
Yeah, you said a little earlier, Nerdy, just not having the cameras on us because I was grimacing through that whole scenario there, the way the ball was going through and how good Michigan State has been on their follow-ups this match. I had a feeling that one could very well be the first goal, and wouldn't you know it, that's the one prediction I actually get right.
I end up looking like Michael Scott a lot in that Yeesh meme. So we have Gil pop the ball to Preston. Preston!
Oh!
There was a double commit! Oh, but the good with the bad here is that our rotations are clean enough that it's harder for us to punish the double commits in the goal because people are rotating back, getting resource, and positioning to make the play happen again.
Oh, nice shot by Durtho, but Knock will be right there. It's a nice play by Gil. Durtho unable to spike it down. And
there we
Preston
go!
with
There
the
we
follow-up.
go!
Broncos have tied it back up. 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game.
Like I said, good with the bad. Most of the time we have these really clean rotations, so we're just, either the goal goes in or we don't and we reset.
You'd rather be using best practices and let it pay out for you in the long run.
But Michigan makes multiple double commits. I'm not lying. Just keep your eyes peeled on these shots on goal and you'll see it. Play for the follow-up a little bit more, I think, is the missing piece right now. As we have the ball in the defensive third for Boise State. Durtho whiffs on contact, Knock capitalizes on the moment. Instead, Gil cuts in, carries it forward. It's Rocket Man to come in, and Rocket goes up in a plume of smoke. But Knock, I don't know where you came from, but somehow you have possession once again, and it's stolen away by Preston and Durtho.
We're nearing the halfway mark. Gil puts a huge shot, deflect by Durtho, down into the goal. Not going to find it. Preston there to keep it from being cleared. Durtho back on the field is going to have to make contact with this before Knock does. He manages to push it by Knock, has the dribble, but loses it to Mar. Preston will have an opportunity once again, this time with an air dribble, but he has almost no boost to work with. Has to leave it for Gil. Durtho demos Mar. Can the Broncos make anything out of this? Knock contesting, and will be able to take it away from the Broncos for the time being.
Preston off the back wall. Mar cuts in, tries to send it to midfield. Gil steals it right back, slows down, dragging this ball to the ground. Did not realize Rocket Man would come into the play. Knock pushes it forward. Preston pops it up into the corner. It's Gil versus Knock, but Mar is left once again uncontested. Pops it to Rocket Man. We have Durtho come forward, push it to mid. Knock sends it against the wall to prevent it fully crossing into the territory. Unfortunately, it does anyway, but it's in the arms of Mar currently. Gil waiting for the opportunity to strike, and does. That's a demo onto Mar.
Nice.
The goal is there, but Knock is still in play. And that is a save on the shot from the Broncos.
It is anybody's game with about a minute and a half left to play to decide it all. Preston is going to come in for the save. Has to move off to the center.
Look.
Double commit. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Artie. And the Broncos. That's a
There
good shot.
it is.
That's
There
what we're
it is.
looking for.
Come on.
They still managed to save. Of course they do.
There was 3 all flat to the net, though. It's just we went for the reset again. It's good practice. We only have a minute. We're tied one aside. You just got to keep it clean and get the goals that you can. But sometimes you just got to get cheeky with it and go too far forward.
Oh man, it's playing with fire at a high-stakes game like this, and there's 1 minute left to decide it all. And that's not the position I want to see. Where are the Broncos? Oh, that's devastating. There is absolutely a complete breakdown in communication. Durtho had moved up the field. I think he was expecting Gil to say, yeah, I got the clear on that, but he kind of whiffs the dribble in midair.
It happens. There's still, I'm rounding up to a minute. We have a minute to find the equalizer. Boise State looking to play for overtime. Barb gets the ball past Durtho, but doesn't get it past Preston. Sends it to mid, but Knock was waiting. Can we knock them away from the ball? It's Gil in the air to drop it down. It goes to Rocket. Once again, dropping down off the ceiling. Durtho to the wall, pinches it, sends it to Preston. Preston to Durtho. Durtho unfortunately can't find the ball. Can Gil find it? Gil keeps this play alive. We have 20 seconds remaining for the Broncos to find the back of the net. It is in Michigan State territory. There's a 50-50, goes in favor of really no one. Gil will bring it forward. It's pinched away by Knock. Knock is this player that's just all over the place. Can we get them away from the ball for 9 seconds? It's all we need is the room to breathe to find the equalizer for Boise State.
It has to be right here off of this dribble. Preston is set up at the backboard. And no, he isn't able to get the dunk. He loses it, and he lost boost too. I think he was just out of boost and couldn't make that final elevation up to get the spike. And that will do it for this game. Michigan State, the Spartans, will walk away with the victory in Game 5.
It was close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yep. That's just the way it plays, but at least it went to a full 5 games. I mean, major kudos to South Florida and Michigan State. Again, both the green teams walked away with it.
That hurt my eyes.
Yeah,
It makes your turf look sick, just saying. That's what we always used to tell ourselves as copium when I was in marching band, is that green turf is sick.
Blue, the color of water, the color of life.
Blue is very blinding.
Yeah, it is too. Well, that is going to do it for this particular match. Broncos only able to get 1 victory early on in the night as far as NACE Star League is concerned. But we have so much for you later on in the week in terms of Overwatch tomorrow. We've got a whole bunch of Overwatch games on deck for you. And we also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Drop In Gaming, brings you Doc's Keys to the Game every single broadcast. Drop In Gaming, whether you're a newcomer or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games for you. They're the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition, can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Well, that just about wraps up the Rocket League that we have for tonight, but I'm sure we do have one thing that's left. The top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who once again invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 20 jobs off. A lot of jobs offering a $20,000 bonus, multiple jobs, and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming, Instagram at iGuard Idaho. That'll do it for this particular match. We'll have the top 5 plays of the game right now. Let's get to them.
But Knock is there again. Durtho with the pinch off the backboard, and he shot between.
There you go. Actually, with the others, they have to fill up on boost first, but there they go in for the play. Now Preston off the wall, saying it over to Gil. A 1-2 shot, it connects. The Broncos up.
Preston, they're all there. Just need to connect something and make a play happen. It's Gil in the air, leaves it for Preston, and somehow I think Knock might have had a slight touch on this.
Oh, nice shot by Durtho, but Knock will be right there. It's a nice play by Gil. Durtho unable to spike it down, and
there we go.
Closing in on the halfway mark. Preston moves in, shot on goal, saved by Mark.
Come on, there's a
Durtho
follow-up.
there for follow-up. There is. You called it, Nerdy, and